Are you in my email? Well, hello, love. Hi, look how pretty you look.
I got dressed for you.
I like it. Here comes Robert. Let's see Robert, Mr. Hughes.
Woohoo!
Who's that? That's Heather talking back there. Robert, are you with us, sir?
He's working on it. I'm hungry. I'm gonna die. Did you eat this morning?
Barely, but yes. We got it. We brought food.
On break, please make sure you have a snack.
There's Mr. Hughes. Good morning, Robert. Can you hear us? Can you see us?
Hi there, handsome.
Robert, can you hear us? You're frozen.
He's not frozen. He's just staring at the computer.
Robert, we can't hear you. Okay, like me.
Mm.
I don't know what's going on. Robert, can you hear us? Robert?
Yes, hello.
You are. Couldn't hear you.
There we go.
Here I am.
There you go. Okay, let me just double check with Sammy. Okay, Sammy. Sammy said, I'm going to just finish up the slides. I heard the exact title you've given.
Where'd Chick go?
Sorry, sweetie, I just saw your text. I'm on and just waiting for you to log on. I just joined. Okay. I don't know what you use.
Aha. I gotta stop trying to. There we go. I kept trying to put you on the giant screen, and I'm like. Yeah, it's like having Tourette's. It's like, where do I look? Where do I look? Where do I smile?
Does that mean if anybody logs in early, they can see us talking?
Yeah.
She's logged in.
Yeah.
So you can see this.
Yeah. We've got.
Why?
So attendees, there's two of us. What are the options on? You know, that would be me.
It says we have 2 attendees, but I don't see anybody else.
Yeah.
Okay, Robert, we're waiting for our other 2 speakers, which I'm texting right now, trying to figure out what's happening. Logging on now. Here comes Sammy. This window. Where are you? Oh, there's Amy.
Hello.
Hello, gorgeous.
How's that? Can you guys hear me?
Fantastic.
Great. Hello. Hi, Robert.
Hey, Amy, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I haven't seen you in a while.
I know, since the Enhance Your Present workshop.
Yes.
And I was trying to remember all the things you taught me so I don't make an ass out of myself. I was looking for the book this morning. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be judged.
No more bad drinks.
Well, everyone
So-
seems to be on, so good morning, everyone.
Hi, Tony.
Can everyone see the other speakers?
Tony,
Yes.
sit closer to your microphone.
That.
Better?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
You can?
Okay, good.
Okay, thank you.
It sounds a little bit like cavernous, a little bit.
We're in a conference room. Do you guys have a headset?
Right. Just a second.
Tony, you sound fine. I want you to be close to your microphone so that you don't get the in and out.
Conference room here with the team. So you're going to hear some people in the background. So I'm going to try this and see if this works better. So you all let me know what you think. And I think some people, I just want to keep checking that no one's logging in on us. Yeah, we already have.
Okay, I'm going to log in back via my laptop, so I'll see you in a second.
Perfect.
Now, 1 second. We have people logging. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Okay.
better.
All right, perfect. So I just want to really quick here. I'm getting some echo back though. We already have some attendees logging in. I've got really bad echo.
For all of you that are logging in, be patient with us. We're getting finished setting up and we'll get started here shortly.
Okay, did we lose Sammy?
Sammy's coming back on our laptop.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So you all can't hear the echo that I'm hearing, right? Okay.
Take your headset off again, because a minute ago it sounded really good.
Like
Now
this?
it's-
Test. Is it better with the headset?
Well, a minute ago it sounded like you were a little bit closer without the headset, but
Try it again. How's that?
That's good.
that sounds
You're
really
getting an echo still?
No, it sounds a little bit better.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we're just waiting for Sammy. So while I have you on, because Sammy's going to be first, thank you all for joining. And I am, let me just bounce out of here real quick. I'm still getting text messages coming up on my computer. There we go. I have my lovely team, my assistants behind me, Holly and Maria.
Yay.
Come say hi. So we'll tell you how this is going to go. Let me just keep checking on Sammy.
Hi.
Maria, this is
Hey.
Holly.
Beauties.
It's the power team. I feel like Charlie right now with my angels. Let me just check on Sammy. So Sammy,
She's already on.
See you, Sammy. I see you. Okay. All right. Settle down. All right. So thank you all again. We sent out the agenda, so we already have some attendees popping in here.
Just one.
This one. There we go. Okay.
We got Deanna. She's
Deanna,
awesome.
Deanna, hang tight, girl. We're going to be right there. So we're going to get started here in a second. And the way we're going to run this is you all have the run of the show. So we have it broken down into your segments. We'll take a break at the end of each speaker. And we also, this is a co-creation. So obviously everyone's invited to chime in. We want to give each speaker their platform. And then we're going to allow Holly's going to be running the chat during the time. So if we have a question and or an opportunity to promote the fundraiser, we're going to be doing that as well. During the breaks, Maria will be popping on and actually talking about the gifts and the fundraiser that we're going to be promoting during this time. Our goal right now is to raise over $15,000 for Vitamin Angel. And we already have a couple people who've already taken advantage of that. So I think there's still a couple cleanup things just where we get to add some links and things like that. But don't worry about it. We're going to make that all happen. All ready to go for everyone?
I got it handled. We're all done.
Awesome.
Ready to go.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So let's see. What time do we have here? Okay. We still have a few more minutes. So if anyone needs to take a breather for a second.
You started recording this already too. I didn't know if you wanted to start the recording when
It's our,
Yeah,
Yeah.
leave it alone, Tony. I got it.
It's already. Amy, welcome to Heather.
Don't touch anything.
Heather, right on.
I'm not allowed to touch anything. I'm just supposed to sit here and look pretty, right, Heather?
Yes. Smile, look pretty, tell people all the amazing things that are going on. That's what we're up to. We're here to make a difference, make an impact, help people grow businesses, and raise some money for charity.
That's right.
Well, she just said all that I need to say. Okay, so people are still, we're getting some logins here. We're gonna start right here on the hour. And does anyone have any questions about the flow?
Are you going to, is somebody going to introduce the next speaker? Just briefly, just say here's, and then we do our own, little mini story.
Yes, so after we come back from each break, so it's going to start with Sammy, then we go to Robert.
Tony,
Then, yes? For what?
attendees.
Oh, thank you.
4. I'm on count.
Thank you. There is, okay, let me go offline for 1 second. There's an issue with the schedule. Oh, where's Heather?
It looks like my lights.
Well, it's nice to meet you all.
You too.
Although we're kind of
Lovely to meet you
virtual.
too.
Where is everybody? I'm in the UK.
Wow. I'm in Bethesda, Maryland, Washington, D.C. I think that's better.
Fantastic.
Okay.
I live in southern Idaho.
Oh wow,
San Diego.
Yes.
San Diego, awesome. I just literally spent 6 weeks traveling all over the States. So I just got back day before yesterday.
That's great. Are you have jet lag yet?
For the last 2 days, yeah. Thank
I'm back.
goodness this is late for me. I don't have to be up early like you guys and girls. I got my
Okay,
lay-in.
1 second.
Sammy, Deanna said you look amazeballs.
Oh, thank you so much. That's lovely. Thank you.
Aw. Okay. Yes, so we're going to go into each speaker. We'll let you do your own quick bio and then go right into it. I was going to read each person's bios, but I think it's just easier for us just to go right into it since we have such a limited amount of time with each person. We want to give enough opportunity for everyone to say their part and then give the breaks along the way. So Heather's cleaning up the document right now. I'm sorry, Holly's cleaning up the document right now. And there are people logging in here.
All right.
All right, we'll have hydrate.
Best kind of water in the world?
Hint
Yes.
water.
Oh my goodness. Took me from drinking like maybe 24 ounces of water today to like almost a gallon.
Nice.
I love this stuff. It's addicting. And they ship on an auto schedule. Not mad.
Okay, we're in countdown. We have 2 more minutes. I don't know why this just popped up. Okay. Robert, do you have any words of wisdom?
Do well and avoid evil.
Do what? Do what?
Do well and avoid evil.
I love it.
That's like my new saying is, I'm going to use my superpowers.
Pretty much summed it up.
Do well, avoid evil, be awesome.
Have
That's
fun.
right. That's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
always have fun.
Have fun.
Have fun. Okay, people are slowly coming on here. We're seeing all of you lovely people logging in. So just give us another minute or so. Get as many participants as we can, then we're going to get started. Okay. So I do have a question, Heather. So Amy's going to share some slides. She's just going to do a share down at the bottom, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Amy, on the bottom of your screen, there's a little green button. It says share screen.
Right. So am I pulling up the slides or?
You are.
No, you'll just go ahead and click share screen, and then
Got it.
you'll share the actual presentation. So if it's in Keynote or
Right.
whatever that is, PowerPoint, and it will share it directly to the screen.
Yes.
Deanna, Sammy loves you.
Keeping our
Dina is just such an awesome member of the Brand Builders Club. I've just spent time with her in America. She's so awesome. So I'm delighted that you're here, Dina.
That's awesome.
What were you saying, Amy?
We should be muting our speakers, right? When other people are, or is it automatically going to mute everyone else out?
We're
No,
going to have
Okay, I'll mute.
Each one of the speakers has control over their own microphone. Once we get started, you'll mute yourself, unless you have something to chime in.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Awesome.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. So go ahead and mute yourselves. I think we have about 20 people on right now. Okay. So welcome everybody. We're super excited. For those of you who've already logged on, obviously you've been hearing our chatter. So thanks for being here to the How to Build Your Wellness Brand Like a Boss. And we are super excited today. We have Sammy Lindell, who's the CEO of How to Build a Brand. We have Amy Homewood, who is the founder of Temple Pride. And we have Robert John Hughes, who is the co-founder of Changewell Academy. And we have Heather Stafford, who is the CEO of Creative Tech Consulting. So we have a very powerful lineup for you today for your wellness brand, and we're really excited to get started. Before we do, I have a couple quick announcements to make. Part of our mission here is not only to educate you and to help you build your wellness business, but it's also to bring awareness and fundraising to a really special, near and dear organization to my heart called Vitamin Angels. Each one of the panelists has donated a beautiful gift in exchange for a donation. And I just want to let you know that we will be talking about Vitamin Angel throughout this as well on our breaks. The way the flow will go today is each speaker will have about 20, 25 minutes, maybe 30 to talk and answer a few Q&As. And then we'll take a break. So that will be controlled. I have my lovely team behind me right here who are also going to be in the chat room helping. Holly's going to be managing the chat as well as keeping the links updated. So if anybody needs any information regarding Vitamin Angels, she'll be handling that. And then Maria will be talking about Vitamin Angels a little bit more in detail during the breaks. So let's dive in. Sammy, you are up. Unmute yourself, love, and we'll get going.
Okay.
There you are.
Hello. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be here. As you know, this is my sandpit when I'm talking about building a brand and really, building that buzzing tribe and drawing those people to you who are waiting there for you right now. One of the things that I say is, if you're not leading, you're losing. But the biggest thing about that sentence is really about who else is losing as a result of you not leading. So it's not just you that's losing out, it's all those people that are sitting there right now with their heads in their hands, just typing into Google in a state that is not representative of somebody that's living their best life. And when you're creating a business, certainly in the wellness industry, then you want to be the best example of that so you can get out there and really build that brand. So I know we've only really got a short amount of time together. So after, about 26 years of doing this, and I built 7 of my own companies before this one. I burned out big time because I was delivering my time for money. So give me a thumbs up if you relate to that, or put yes in the chat box if you can relate to that your business doesn't exist or make money currently unless you are physically running it. And that's a huge thing. And I found that, and as a result, because I know that the reason you're here is because you want to do the very best for the people that are following you. You want to do the best for your customers. Yeah, I can see you all contributing there. Thank you. And as a result of that, it's very easy for you to burn out. Now, obviously in the wellness industry, when you're building a brand in the wellness industry, you want to be well. And I wasn't well. I really burned myself out, and I ended up on a heart monitor 4 times in as many months because I was working 18 to 20 hours a day. It seemed that there was just always so much to do. And the last time that I ended up in my consultant's office, he said, Miss Blundell, if I see you in here even one more time, I can't guarantee that what you're doing to your body is going to be reversible. You have to change what you're doing. Please promise me you'll change it. And I just thought, but this is all I know. How, you know, I don't know another way. And I had to find a way of being able to serve millions instead of just one-to-one, to start a family. I really wanted a family. For those of you that maybe resonate with me on that, you know, maybe you've got a family and you just don't have time for them. Well, I didn't even have a family. I was working so hard that I couldn't even find the husband of my dreams to be able to have that family with. So, you know, I just got to a point of real burnout and breakdown, and that's when the real breakthroughs happen most of the time. Oh, thank you, Holly. You can relate to this. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. And as a result, I've been making millions of pounds, dollars, and euros for my clients. The 7 businesses that I built before this were very much in the branding, marketing, social media, business growth. I had a business development academy. I sold that in 2011. I built up my big agency, and I sold that after building that for 7 years. And that's really, you know, at the point that I was burning out at that stage. And it doesn't have to be this way for you. I just made a commitment and said, hang on a minute, if I'm going to be the brand that I want to see in the world, and I'm going to show up for other people and support them in doing this, and I've got to do it for me first. But how do I do that in a way that enables me to reach more people without ever burning out again, so that I can travel, so that I can have freedom, so that I have choices? And it's not about just making money for the sake of making money, because that's what I did. That's the life I learned with. And I focused so much on profit, I forgot my passion and my purpose. I didn't even know where to look for that. So if you're at a stage where you're thinking, you know what, I've got an idea, or you're further along than that and you've got a business and you're nursing businesses back to health, or you're nursing people back to health, or there's some part of what you do that really is making an impact in the wellness industry, then this is just going to be a phenomenal ride for you, this amazing summit that Tony and her team have put on. I just want to say thank you so much, first of all, for inviting me to play with you all.
Absolutely.
And just have fun while doing it.
Yes, 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 yes. So let's dive into how to build a brand. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah. So the biggest thing about really building your brand is to first of all differentiate between the difference of brand and branding. So I'm going to share my screen now and run you through. And for many of you, actually, even my Brand Builders Club members that are online as well, it's gone out to thousands of people all over the world that are in our universe. You might not have seen this before, and it's likely that you haven't. So I want to really take you through this process of understanding the difference between brand and branding, and how so many wellness businesses are focusing so much on the branding that the brand is getting left behind. And that's where I want to play. This is where my wish for you is to go away from the end of this very short presentation understanding the difference between what those two things, understanding the difference between branding and marketing, understanding the difference of how to go from zero visibility to hero credibility in your industry. And so let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. Let me get the presentation up first. That would help. Okay, let's share the screen. Perfect. I'm going to pop you up there and minimize that and switch this on. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen. So, really, it's a fundamental difference between that brand and branding, and that's what we're going to go through first, just to really get you into the zone of understanding the difference between those two things. So what's the real difference between branding and marketing, first of all? Because most people focus on marketing without the branding, or they do the branding and then do the marketing, and not quite sure how those two dovetail together. And every industry and organization that I've ever worked in where they've got a branding and marketing department, the two never communicate with each other. And it's like a marriage. This needs to work really well. So the main fundamental difference between branding and marketing is your branding is your vehicle. It's your reputation. It's what's going to carry you forward. Your marketing is the fuel that you put into that vehicle so that it drives visibility. I like to keep things really simple. So give me a yes, yes, yes if you like to keep them simple, because seriously, I'm a creative. I'm not a techie. And I like things really, really super simple so that I can just get shizazzle done. So that's the difference between branding and marketing. So if that's the difference between those two things, what's the difference between brand and branding? Well, I like to keep it simple again. So think of your brand as trust and your branding as your trust mark. So your brand is non-physical, completely emotional. It's what other people say about you when you're not there. It's something that builds your reputation, and you know if it's not there. Your branding is your logo, your website, your car that's got your branding all over it, all the physical stuff. So your branding is physical. It's the representation of you, and without those two things coming together, very difficult to build that reputation because they're misaligned. So let's look at it in a bit closer detail so that you really, like, this is so important you get this piece right as a foundation before we go any further. So you've seen the iceberg before, right? I can see that there's some chats that are coming in, so I'm going to carry on with the presentation, and I will stop. I'll stop throughout to answer any questions that are coming in. So, okay, so we've got the iceberg. Think of your branding as being the tip of the iceberg. Your branding, the logo, the website, all of the physical stuff is only responsible for 15% of why someone buys from you. Your brand is 85% of why someone buys from you. So you bring those two things together. Now let's imagine that you've got your branding. So you've got a great logo, but nobody knows you're there. They have no idea how great you are. And there are loads of other people that say they do what you do. So you've got your branding. It doesn't mean anything, does it? The brand is what's holding it up. What happens if you take that brand away? Your branding sinks. And having built up a branding and marketing agency over many years, I can tell you I had thousands of people that came through that process who were so focused on the branding of what it looked like. They had no idea what business they were building, really who it was for, how they were going to make a bigger impact, and how that was going to make an impact globally as a result. They had no real reason why. It was, just starting a business for profit rather than purpose. And I found that to be really a shame, because there were so many branding companies out there that were providing branding and logos for people and not asking questions about, how do you want your brand to expand? Like in 100 years from now, how is your company, what is the things that you're doing today, what is that going to do to make a difference in 100 years? And so many design agencies, they really focus on branding you as you are. But that's really the wrong place to start. It's about focusing on where's your brand going to land and branding that. And that way, you're not going to have to change it because you're creating the branding that you can step into. Rather than many times, I see people really get so caught up on the logo and it's got the website name and all these things before they've actually interviewed customers, before they've done a whole, intelligence gathering process that really makes sure that you're creating the right branding for the right brand. Just keeping an eye on time now. It's going quite fast. So think about your brand and your brand. Oh, Tony, yeah, you good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Cool. And if you've got any questions, Tony, can you just interrupt me like that? Because I've had to minimize that little box so you can see my screen. Thank you. You are my angel. So your brand and your branding. Think of your brand. I'm going to sneeze. No, I'm not. I've got this light ring in front of me. So think of your brand as trust. Well, trust creates credibility. Credibility creates loyalty. Loyalty creates leadership. Leadership creates recognition, and recognition creates referrals. And that's the big thing. When you've got referrals coming in from all over the place and you're not having to spend anything on marketing anymore, you know that you've got a brand, not just branding. And ultimately, and you might want to write this down, I'm going to go quite quick through this. Once you've got trust and you've built that credibility, credibility creates conversations. Conversations create conversions. Conversions create customers, and customers create cash flow. And when you've got cash flow, you've got a business. So you might want to watch the replay to write that back down, okay? Because we need to move on. So what I see so often is that businesses are starting without that reputation. So they're focused so much on the branding, they don't focus on the reputation. And as a result of that, there's no trust. If there's no trust, there's no credibility. You've got no customers if there's no credibility, which means there's no cash flow, no money, and then you've got no business. And I call this the crazy eight. And this happens all the time. This doesn't just happen when you start a business and you're thinking of the branding for the business. This happens every time you create a product or a service that you want someone to buy from you. So if you don't do the research, if you don't build the reputation of that product and service and see the vision, mission, and pitch, even for every product that you have, then it's going to be very difficult to build trust, which makes it difficult to build credibility. You'll have no customers, no money, and then no business. So business becomes really hard when you do this. So I'm pointing this out so you get out of the crazy eight if that's where you're at. Because we don't want you looking at bills coming in that are, not representative of who you are or what you do. But when you're focusing on money, because now money is tight, then that kind of shrinks your energy and it just consumes you. I don't know if you've ever felt like that. Give me a yes if you felt like that, because I know I certainly have. And it stops you from playing in your A game because you're focusing on the wrong kind of energy. But, it's inevitable. That can happen to the best of us. Even the most positive people in the world have down days too, right? So let's remove the possibility of that by getting that consistency in there. So, don't go through that crazy eight because you just keep going through it again and again. It's what I call doing syndrome. You go straight from idea to action without really focusing on the bits in between. And that creates reactive marketing. It's time consuming, it's inconsistent, and inconsistency is one of the biggest killers of brand. It's expensive and it costs you your reputation at worst. So, let's really focus on getting this right. So the first reason, so I'm going to give you 3 reasons and a learning point behind that so you can take that away and really work with that. So the first reason that people aren't spending their money with you, or that they're not valuing you, maybe they're trying to get discounts, maybe you're leading into it, offering discounts before they even got their agreement that that's what they need. So let's start really valuing you in this process, because when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. So it's super important that you write that down. When people don't pay, they don't pay attention. So when you value yourself, others value you. So the first reason is people don't trust you enough yet. And like I say, that can be because you've gone straight in with logo design. I get messages all the time. I'm creating a product, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. What should my logo be? It's the wrong place to start. It would effectively be like Aston Martin saying, hey, let's start with the fuel first. And then we'll go for the badge. And then we'll think about what engine we're going to put in the car. I mean, it just doesn't work that way. And like Grant Stillwinder said, if you cut corners, be prepared to spend the rest of your life going around in circles. Because that's what happens. Every time you cut a corner, you're going around in a circle. And that creates inconsistency. And usually, it doesn't create consistent cash flow or predictable cash flow. And when you've got predictability, you've got certainty. So I went from zero when I sold my last company, and I moved to France. Actually, I was in France for 4.5 years up until about 8 months ago, and I just went for a break. I was done, but I made a challenge with myself to do for others, or to show for myself to others what could be achieved in a 12-week period. And so I set out to earn £15,000 over the whole period, just putting in place the 12-week strategy that I'd been delivering for all these other companies, making the millions of pounds, dollars, and euros. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do this on my business. I'm going to set out with a vision and mission. I'm going to get my pitch. I'm not going to get into this crazy 8. I'm going to do each of these pieces in the right way. And over 12 weeks, I'm going to aim for £15,000, because that's going to give me the investment I need to be able to put into tomorrow's marketing. Then I'll be able to build the website and do all the right things, because I didn't have a logo or a website at this time. So on day one, I had the vision. So in the first week, I really worked on that vision. What is the vision for what I want to build in 100 years from now? What impact do I want to have made on the world, and what am I going to leave behind? So I was really thinking legacy. So I set out, by the end of that week, I was so clear. I set out to build the world's largest and most valuable brand building resource for entrepreneurs of purpose-driven businesses. And that was my thing. And I just focused that. And I thought, if I'm going to build the world's largest and most valuable resource, then who do I need to be to show up? And how often do I need to do that? And when I wake up every day, like, what state do I need to be in? What does good look like? And what does great and what does flipping excellent look like? And so I focused that first week on that. And then from there, I just hit the ground running, because I then started to build the brand, and the brand is reputation, remember? So I didn't even have the logo you see on this screen. I had none of that. On day one, I bought my domain name, howtobuildabrand.org, which had 473 million search results in the search engines on Google. So it'd be quite easy to say, do you know what, I'm not even going to bother trying. So 473 million competitors, content-wise, effectively. And we didn't have anything. So I really set out for, like I say, that 15,000 a month, or at the end of that 3 months. But by the end of the 12 weeks, I had £18,000 per month coming in. And I even shocked myself about what was possible in a 12-week period to go from like zero money, and I didn't pay anything for marketing. No, not a penny, not a cent. I didn't pay anything on marketing. The only things I spent money on was I bought a WordPress blog template, because WordPress blog is free. So I spent about $40 on a WordPress blog template. I bought my domain name, howtobuildabrand.org. I didn't even buy the .com at that stage. And I bought my hosting for 3 months, which was £10 a month. So for less than £100, that was my investment. And that I was on a mission to prove what could be done in that 12-week period. Well, within 12 weeks, we had £18,000 a month coming in, and we were number 3 on the first page of Google, at the top of even Sir Richard Branson and many of the big brands. And it was based on purely what I call a heartbeat strategy, where you are just creating connection. Because remember, connection creates conversation, conversation creates conversion. So we just, set out from day one to reach out and give as many heartbeats, not touch points. And you've probably heard of marketing touch points before, checking on time. But heartbeats was the big thing to really focus on. And all in just 12 weeks, we had that coming in. So then it was just a rinse and repeat. Okay, well, what if I were to create another product and do that in the next 12 weeks? Well, here I am 4.5 years later. I've got 44 different products. Some of them are live. Some of them are online. I launched the Brand Builders Club, which is a 12-month brand building program, in January this year. I aimed for 10 members a month. And just in the last 6 weeks, we've had 39 new members. So when you really start to build that momentum, and that's just focus, because you get 10 clients a month. Yes, you can. When you focus on the systems and you focus on the sales strategy, the selling, and the scaling, that becomes possible. So reason 2 is when you say, I'll launch it now and I'll get it right later. So I really would advise you, at the very minimum, do what I did and focus on your vision, your mission, and your pitch. At the very least, like, what's the story behind what you want to sell and how you want to serve? Because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So at the very minimum, you want to go out there. And I would do this for every product. And I know it's like, oh, Sammy, but it's so much hard work. Yeah, it's a lot harder work pumping the hell out of something and putting time, money, and energy into something that just isn't selling. So just put that little bit of time in at the beginning. I've got a 7-step process that every single one of my Brand Builders Club members goes through before they do anything else. They do these 7 steps. And then you rinse and repeat. You do it on every product and every service you sell in future. And I've got members that have only been in there for 6 months and they've already got their products out there. They're selling, they've got consistent income, predictable income, more importantly, and they're doing the right thing. So they're serving, and as a result of serving, they're selling. So really consider that, you know, in terms of building your brand. And reason 3 that people aren't buying from you yet is because oh, hello.
Sorry, sweetie. Just a quick question before we move to the next topic, that next point.
Yeah.
So Holly was asking about, she already did her brand. She did her branding first, like most of us, right?
Yes.
We do branding, kind of wrong order.
Yeah.
2 years ago, she wants to do a rebrand, but she's not sure when the right time is to reinvest in that. So what are your thoughts around that?
My thoughts around that are, I would never rebrand anything unless I had a really very different strategy for growth. So say, for example, you've built your entire brand around you personally. Well, when you're in the wellness industry, it's very likely that you are going to be building a personal brand, and you need to build that first because that's going to create trust.
Right.
The challenge I see for many people is that you focus so much on the personal identity that then you build the business identity so that then everything isn't reliant on you, and there's a mismatch between those 2 things. So I would advise that you really think about what's the vision. You know, what are you building and who are you building it for? And then the mission. How are you going to create that? How are you going to deliver that to them? And what is going to be the outcome for them? And once you know those things, what's your vault? What's the vault? What are you going to sell? What's going to be behind what you're doing? So that when you come to a point of rebranding, you can look, is there a gap? You know, that's something that I do. I do a mini brand audit so I can see the gap between where you are and where you want to be, and what differences, what changes or tweaks sometimes do you need to make to the existing brand that you have. And quite often when I do a brand audit, there doesn't need to be a massive change to the branding. It's the brand that needs the work, not the branding. So what I would say is I'm happy to jump on and do a session with you if you want me to do that. I've got a thing at the end, and I'll just share how you can get hold of me. But yeah, quite happy to look at what you've got and to do a little session to find that out. Does that answer your question, Tony?
Yes. Thank you.
Cool. Okay. So, and that's the biggest thing really, is just making sure that you're not rebranding unnecessarily, because, you know, most branding experts you go to will just automatically rebrand you. But I believe that, you know, with the right messaging, with the right mentors, and with the right strategy behind that actually the branding might not need to change too much. So I'd rather kind of look at it and see what you've got in comparison to where you're going, and do a little gap analysis on that. And that's open to everybody on the call. So reason 3 is what you're selling is seen as a commodity, and that's when you can get into price wars. That's when you can end up kind of haggling, and that's when you look at other competitors and think, okay, well, that's what they're doing, so well, I need to be doing something like this. And the problem with that, and I always find that, is I'd rather give something away for free than discount it, because, you know, if you're going to discount something, it's suggestive that you are charging too much anyway. So I would always add value. So rather than taking something away, add value. And here's something else as well, just very quickly on that, is quite often when you're creating new things, it's easy for you to think, oh, well, you know, I haven't created this yet, so the first 10 people that go through this, you're going to get it for free, or you're going to get it at a discount because you're going to be my guinea pigs, and then I'll create it and then I'll sell it for what I'm going to sell it for. Please don't ever do that. Please don't ever do that, because what you've probably found is when you've delivered something for someone who's going through a process for the very first time, you're going to give them more time, more energy, and more value than probably anyone else that's ever going to go through it, because you're going to use that to systemize what you're doing and to repeat the process in a way that is consistent each time. So please never undervalue yourself or try and go in cheap to undercut somebody else. Add value rather than taking money away, because all that also does is it's suggestive of, okay, well, if you're going to discount it, then what else am I losing? What am I losing as a result? And in the health and wellness industry, you just don't want to be getting into that. So, give me a thumbs up or say yes, yes, yes if you know someone who says that they sell the same thing as you, but they're charging more than you do. Tony, I think, did you say something just then?
I was just saying, we see this a lot in the wellness industry because I feel like they have multiple competitors and doing the same thing. And so it's just this constant conversation around what should I discount it for? And, the feedback is always, where can you add value? What is your extra bonus? What can we do to highlight what you have versus take away from that? And so, this conversation around coupons and discounts and all of that, I've seen it in every facet and modality that's out there. So really great feedback there.
Yeah. And, it's kind of like I've been there. And when you give that discount, do you feel better or worse? You might feel great because you won the client and then you don't feel valued. So that's another part of the 7 steps, that I talked about earlier. Really get that vision right and really work on those values as well. Because if you know what the top 3 core values are for your business, for example, not for you, you're important in this mix, but the business is more important at this stage because it's that people are going to be buying from. So what are the 3 core values of the business, of the brand itself, so it can walk, talk, eat, sleep, and live and breathe without you when you're not there? Because your brand is showing up even when you're not, right? So, what can you do to really get those values right? And that's important from 2 perspectives. The first is, when you share values with the people that you really want to serve, there's a harmony, there's a marriage there, and you value each other. But there's a dis-ease when there are values that clash. If you're a heart-centered person that really cares about quality relationships, but you're working with somebody who cares about making money and they don't care about the relationship, that's going to have an automatic, real, dis-ease about that. And so get really focused on your core values. The second reason why values are so important in your branding is because your number 1 core value is responsible for 85% of your main brand color. And I'm a color psychologist, among other things. So for the last 24 years, I've been diagnosing colors for businesses and can get out of 2,500 shades of color. There's like 80, nearly 90 shades of red. So you could go on Google and you could look up and say, my value is this. And it'll say, oh, you're in the red spectrum. Great. But what shade of red? Because you're going to put someone off. You're going to repel them instead of attracting them, even down to the wrong shade. So that's also why your values are hugely important in what you're doing. Tony, did you want to say something before I moved on?
I'm laughing because I'm watching Heather do one of these. So we're always talking about colors and stuff. We have one more question, if you don't mind. Is it okay to give a free mini program that you would normally charge for as a bonus to a bigger program?
Yes, absolutely. Like I said earlier, I would either give it away for free or I would charge what its value is.
Yeah.
By all means, let them know what the value is and that you're giving it to them for complimentary. But I would give it as a gift rather than say that it's free. And there's this whole kind of ickiness. I get this kind of feeling in my stomach when I start seeing people, you know, saying, and you're going to have this bonus and this special offer. And, you know, it's kind of, there's other heartbeat style language that you can use to really resonate with your audience. And, you know, bonuses and things like that, they kind of really stink of desperation now. They didn't used to, but now a lot of people, you know, especially when you're going to lots of seminars and lots of events, it's overplayed now. Oh, and you get this bonus and you get this bonus and you get this bonus. Yeah, I throw loads of things in. I add extraordinary value to everything that I do. But the main thing is that you either charge what it's worth or you give it away. There shouldn't be anything in between. Does that make sense?
Yes, love it. Thank you. So I know we're running up. How many more minutes do you need right here, Sam?
Just a couple. We're at the end. So, yeah, going to wrap this up here.
Okay.
Because, you know, ultimately, you know, there are people out there that say they're selling the same thing as you, which is making you a commodity. But it's how do you really turn your brand into, you know, a vibrant business that really can expand. You remember, for those of you that know this lovely lady, Maya Angelou, she said, people won't always remember what you said. They won't always remember what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. So it's not the size of your audience that matters. It's, is your audience listening? And your brand is what other people say when you're not there. It's how other people feel about your business when they see that logo. How do they feel? How do you want them to feel? And are they feeling the way that you want them to? So, you know, I mean, I'm regularly interviewed by many of the top broadcasting houses and broadsheets and papers and books and, you know, online amazing seminars and all kinds of things. And ultimately, it's just about showing up consistently. And that's why I get really called into all of these so often, is because my stake in the ground is brand. That I live, breathe, eat, sleep, walk and talk it. Could I talk about marketing? Yes. Could I talk about business growth? Like, this is my 8th business, very successful, got 2 global companies. You know, could I talk about that? Yes. But I don't. I focus on brand. So stop confusing your audience and get really focused on what brand reputation is it that you actually want. So whether you are speaking in public, or you think that it might be a part of your future, or maybe you're going to create YouTube videos or broadcast it, have other people like Tony is with us, you know, broadcasting your message and getting out to lots and lots of people rather than just one at a time. Word of mouth, you know, that kind of dreaded elevator pitch that so many people say to me, Sammy, I just wish I could say the same thing consistently each time, right? This is about really creating something that's consistent. And so, you know, follow a plan that works. And that's really what we're talking about today, is follow that plan that works. Build your dream with a team. Our whole Brand Builders Club, these are the 7 principles that it's all built on. Build your dream with a team. Being in business on your own can be lonely. It doesn't have to be that way. And don't guess, model success. There are already people out there that have achieved what you want to achieve. And, you know, brilliant mentors. You've got 4 of them, 5 of them on this call today. Grow using what others know, but take what you know and help other people to grow as well. Build that consistent momentum. Effectively manage your time, because I know if you're like me, like, I have to be really strict with my time because I work from home and I've got a family at home and we've just spent 6 weeks traveling all over the States. I could never have done that before. I did more business and made more money and made a bigger impact in the last 6 weeks while traveling and having fun than I ever did in all of my other businesses put together. And earn as you learn. That's really important. And many times people think they've got to do this. Like, I've got to get this qualification before I start charging what I'm worth. I've got to achieve this thing before this. And it's always an if, when. So get out of that. Just take action now. Like, the first day of the rest of your life starts here. And you can make a real decision and a commitment to what you're doing. And it just like that. So Tony and I were talking about what what could I give you? What would be my gift to you to help you move forward consistently? Because we've only got such a short amount of time together and I want to spend more time with you. So I have what's called a VIP backstage pass. It comes with a live event, which we run our events all over the world. We've got, if you want to write these dates down, we've got the 9th of September, we're in Holland. On the 15th of September, we're in London. On the 29th of September, we've got the online only version for people that can't get to the live locations. We run exactly the same event, but we run it online via Zoom. So that's on the 29th of September. And then on the 11th of October, we are in Orlando in Florida. And on the 20th of October, we're in New York. So we're all over. And if you can't get to a physical live event, then we've got the online version of it as well. So not only are you going to get the live event, because I want that to be my gift to you, I want to play more with you and see what we can do together as an opportunity to expand and champion each other to places we can't get to on our own. But there's also a 3-hour masterclass, which the 7-step brand builders blueprint, and that takes you through 7 of the businesses that I've built. One key horrible lesson that I learned in each of those businesses, and there's a on the spot, let's get this done so it never happens to you. So there's a workbook that comes through this. I talk you through it during the 3-hour masterclass, and you're going step by step to make sure it doesn't happen to you. And I've also thrown in a 30-minute one-to-one brand gap analysis call, because I want you to know that somebody on the other end cares, and like you can't do everything online all the time, and I'm very much about the personal stuff. And I've built 2 global companies. I've built them in a way that they're systemized, that they're running without me, so I've got time to play. So that's my gift to you. It's 497. But this is my gift to you. So all you've got to do, if you can see that link at the bottom of the screen there, which is my website, howtobuildabrand.org/free-member day. So if you click on that, pop it in, say you need to put where you've met me from so that it's qualified. So say Tony's Online Summit if you want to, so we know where it's come from. And you'll go straight into the system, and you'll also receive, let me put this back to my screen as well. You'll also receive the
Sammy,
5-step program.
I'm going to pop.
Go.
Sorry, sweetie. Just real quick. I hate to jump in while you're still talking, but we do have a question for you. And also the gifts that we have donated for the fundraiser, that link is in the chat right now as well. So if they donate to the Vitamin Angels, they get your 2 live tickets. And then it sounds like you've added some more value. So I just want to say thank you for that. Dr. Ray has a question for you. Dr. Ray, I don't see your question in the chat. So if you want to go ahead and place that in the chat, we're going to save your question for Sammy till the end. Because we do need to move on here and take a break. Sammy, go ahead and finish up your last thought there.
Yeah, something I was just going to say was, I mentioned earlier that over a 12-week period, I literally week by week, so within that 12 weeks, we went from 0 to 18,000 a month, and obviously very high up in the rankings. There's a 5-step mini course that I've created, plus a 90-minute masterclass that goes through that. And for those of you that sign up for that, go through Tony's link. I didn't know what the link was, so I put our link on there. But go through Tony's link, because you will also then get access to that 5-step mini course as well. So you've got everything you need to grow, build, brand, and expand. And I can't wait to see you be the brand that you want to see in the world, and see how we can play together. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm very juiced about all of it.
Thank you. I do have, let's see, we have a hand up here. Holly, do you see that?
You see it.
Disable. Give me 1 second.
So Ray just said she spoke too fast. How do we get the link?
Yeah, we got
Holly just posted the link in there.
Yep.
Yeah, Holly's just posted that link.
Okay. We have a
Cool.
that one.
Yeah, I think you could allow her to ask the question verbally.
There we go. I don't know if I'm saying this right. Charaka, is that right? Charakat? You're muted, sweetie. You want to unmute yourself? Let's see. I'm going to unmute you. Yeah. We can't seem to get you online. So go ahead and type it into the chat box, and we'll make sure we get back to the question I think we're good. All right, let's get this up here. All right, I think we got there. Sammy, that was awesome. That was so awesome. Thank you so much. That was so awesome. So thank you for that. And we're going to take a quick break right now. We're going to have Maria come on, but if any of the panelists want to take a quick break yourselves, we'll have Maria come on. Sammy, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yay, can you hear me now? Okay, hi everyone. Good morning, Saturday morning. Sammy, amazing. Thank you so much for those shares. Really amazing information. So let me introduce myself just to give you guys a little background. I'm Maria Ackerman. I'm also Tony's wife. And I'm a practitioner myself. So I'm listening in too because I struggle with the same things you guys do, like, you know, how to balance starting a business with having a full-time job. Where do I start? Do I start with my colors? Do I start with my message? You know, who am I in this sea of practitioners? You know, we live in Southern California and sometimes it feels like everyone's a practitioner. So how do I differentiate myself? So Sammy was fantastic, and the gift that you're giving through our donation platform is incredible. And I was actually prepping last night and I was going through all the gifts, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit, but I was like, this is insane, you guys. This is a lot of value and gifts that you guys are bringing. And the 3 hours itself is super solid information, but the gifts are phenomenal. Like the one-on-ones, the downloads, the master classes, the live events, you guys, it's, I don't even know what the total is, but it seems like a lot, like thousands and thousands of dollars. So I want to talk about Vitamin Angels. So my background is I've been in the nutritional supplement industry for 25 years. And what's really cool is that Vitamin Angels was founded in 1994, which was right about the same time I actually landed myself into this industry. And Howard Schiffer is the founder of Vitamin Angels, and he had been in the natural products industry for like 14 years, and he saw this gap. He was like, here we are spreading health and wellness in the United States and around the world, but there's this gap of, you know, what about the mothers and children in need? Like, we get to really make a difference there. So he founded Vitamin Angels and used his partnerships within the natural products industry to bring nutrition to those underserved kids, children under 5, actually specifically, and mothers in need around the world. So from then until now, Vitamin Angels is now serving 61 million children under the age of 5 in 70 countries, you guys. Like, that's incredible. So, and I'll tell you a few stories later because I've actually met him. I actually interviewed for a position with the company in Santa Barbara about 10 years ago. So I want to cover that a little later, but I just want to talk about real quick what we're talking about here. So, you know, these kids that are in these underserved communities, they don't have access. Some of the communities don't even have access to their nation's healthcare. So they are left with severe deficiencies in vitamins we don't even think about. Okay, so one of the primary ones is vitamin A. So vitamin A in the body is responsible for a lot of things, skin and hair and vision, but immune system. Your immune system cannot function properly without vitamin A. And the foods these kids are exposed to, which is primarily like tortillas and beans and that kind of thing, there is no vitamin A for them. So blindness, malnutrition, death due to malnutrition and not being able to fight off diseases is so common. And it's so preventable. They only need 2 doses a year of vitamin A, because vitamin A is a fat-soluble vitamin. It stores in the liver. So they can actually have 2 doses a year of vitamin A, and it keeps them healthy and alive and vibrant. And I think that, I was thinking last night, I'm a mom. I'm sure many of you are moms or dads or parents, or you have family members, and, we're protective. Like it's in our DNA to protect our kids. You can imagine moms that don't have resources. And so Vitamin Angels comes in and they provide twice yearly doses of vitamin A. They actually squeeze it right in the kids' mouths so that their immune system can be functioning and that they don't suffer from blindness. This is basic. This is like really amazing. The second thing that Vitamin Angels does is they provide prenatals and nutritional counseling for the moms, in addition to nutritional counseling for the villages, so that they can understand what it really takes to raise a healthy tribe, right? So that's what we're asking for, is you get to be part of something that makes a huge difference. The gift is, the donation is $197, and the gifts are incredible. So let's talk about the gifts a little bit, you guys, because let me just switch over here. So we just talked about Sammy's gifts. And she actually had stuff on. So 2 live tickets. She talked about a master class. There is, let's see, I got my notes. Oh, I forgot my notes. Anyway, whatever Sammy just covered, it was a lot. Like there was one-on-one, there was a master class. Here we go. Thank you. 7-step brand builders, a 30-minute one-on-one. So you guys, that's incredible value right there. Now, we haven't even heard from our speakers. I talk about what Tony's giving, because most of you know her. You get a VIP day with Tony. Okay, if any of you know her, she's like an energetic badass. She sees right into the core of what you're dealing with, and she just comes up with what your next steps are and what your access to success is on the spot. So you get 2 hour-and-a-half breakthrough sessions, coaching sessions with Tony. That in and of itself is, it's incredible. I'm just telling you, I've seen her in action, and she will give you great value for that. So you get to get clear on where your business is going and where you want it to go, right? Like you get to choose, where do I want my business to go and how am I going to get there? You get a personalized strategy to get there fast, and you get a complete view of your wellness business top to bottom. That's pretty phenomenal. So you get 2 of those, 2 hour-and-a-half sessions with Tony. In addition, we have Amy Holmwood coming on. So Amy's going to talk about how to master the art of sales, right? So I'm a practitioner. I work with a lot of practitioners. I work with all the integrative doctors and practitioners in San Diego. And sales is not the favorite topic. Nobody really actually wants to talk about it. They just want to be a wellness practitioner and really hope and pray that the clients land on their doorstep, because sales is like a dirty word, right? But sales is just enrolling people into your vision of health for them. So Amy's going to help you create a winning sales presentation, because that's important, right? It can't just stay in your head. We need to be able to communicate our sales in an effective way. How to handle the art of sales conversion. So how do you get over that hump of, I just gave the value, right? Now I need to kind of walk them across the line to committing to the sale. So how do you get to that point? And then tips and tools on creating a sales offer. So what is my offer? I love, Sammy, what you said about not discounting your program, but actually offering more value. because I hear this a lot. It's like, well, and even with myself, you know, it's like, well, that's a lot of money to ask someone to contribute, so maybe I should just discount it. And I love this idea of actually adding more value as really a give to give. So that's really cool. So I'm going to cover the rest on the next break, but I want to loop back into Vitamin Angels. So the gift, the donation gift from you that we're asking is $197. Just what I've talked about with Tony and Sammy. I don't know what the total is, but it's well above a couple $1,000s. So please go and donate. Just click. It's super easy. I think Holly's putting the link in the chat. Can we take questions? Like, do you want me to come? This is my first time doing this, you guys.
We can just leave it as a break,
Okay.
just like a solid break.
No. Okay. So
Put it on you.
we're gonna actually break, and we're gonna talk next time. Don't miss me on the next break though, because we're gonna dive in a little bit more about vitamin A, and we're gonna talk about Vitamin Angels and the impact that they're making worldwide. And I would love to actually share a screen with you, so we might figure out how to do that. So I want you guys to see some images. So thank you for listening. Please go and see the link that Holly's putting in the chat and donate. We all get to be part of the bigger mission. One thing I want to leave you with is, you know, Tony and I have made it part of our business to be givers, to not just, you know, build our business, but actually make a social impact in the world. So as we create health in our business and in our lives and for our clients, let's reach out, you know, let's make this impact global. And this is an opportunity for you to do that. So thank you for listening. And I'm going to take a break, and we'll have Tony back. Okay, we are back. We are back. We are back in action. So thank you again, Sammy. Can everyone hear me okay? We're going to jump on here. We're going to introduce my friend and mentor, Mr. Robert John Hughes. Are you there, Mr. Hughes? I like to call him Sir Robert. I don't know. It must be the English in me.
I wish I could get my family to call me that. But that's not working.
That's not working for you.
No.
We are so honored to have you on today, and I'm going to let you take it away and tell the audience about yourself and what we're going to be talking about today, and then we'll talk a little bit at the end about your gift.
Great. Thanks very much. It's great to be with you. And Tony, thanks for creating this. And to my fellow panelists, guys, thank you for your generosity and your contributions today. This really is an honor to be part of this with you. My name is Robert John Hughes. I'm a marketing strategist. I'm a brand advocate. I'll tell you what that means in just a minute. And I'm also a media business entrepreneur. I come out of the radio broadcasting business. I was program director of a station in Washington, D.C., where I started what today is the single most listened to music format in American radio. I went on to become president of a large broadcast group, reaching millions of people. And my particular role in the company was to really be the chief marketing and branding officer. So I worked with all of our clients, and I've designed literally thousands of branding and marketing campaigns, some of which have won awards. And I thought what I would do is jump right on what Sammy had talked about and try to teach you how to be a good client of somebody like Sammy and other design agencies out there, because I think this is where people get into a lot of trouble. People who are business owners, particularly in the wellness and health business, they were never taught this stuff in their professional education, and literally they don't know what to do, so they kind of go limp and blobby when they get into the hands of, and it's kind of like, well, whatever you think. Wrong answer. It's not whatever they think. And I'll tell you an example. I'm the co-founder of Changewell Training Academy. My partner is Dr. Mark Tager. He's renowned in the healthcare business, a prominent speaker at various medical conventions. And Mark and I worked with a local practitioner here in San Diego who created a business. And what this practitioner did was they went and hired one of the leading website designers in our industry, and they built a website, which was spectacular. It had all of the right pieces in all of the right places. It did everything that you'd ever want a website to do. Except when you went to Google the business, and the business was the brand, what they thought was a brand, was actually a collection of generic words. And I can't tell you what it was because that would betray a confidence, but it was something like Holistic Wellness Health Associates. You get the flavor? It's kind of a bunch of words that all sound like they're heading in the right direction, but when you Google holisticwellnesshealthassociates.com, what you find out is it comes up next to a couple of massage places and a couple of marijuana dispensaries. So no thought at all was given to, so if this is the brand that we're building, where is this brand going to land? How's it going to show up? What's the landscape going to be around it? And all of those things are avoidable. So the job of every business owner is to get noticed, known, and remembered in a way that is helpful to the business. And that starts with attracting attention. Our work, the work that Dr. Tager and I do, is summarized in this book, Enhance Your Presence. And one of the things that we talk about is this whole idea of what presence is. And I'll get you from page 15, this is our definition of presence. Presence is an intentionally generated state of human consciousness arising from mindful attentiveness to one's own self and another human being. What we're talking about here is that the key business building energy is the ability to pay attention to your customers in a way that the customers notice that they're being paid attention to. So it all starts with attention. And you can't get around the fact that there's a lot of competition out there. So you got to figure out a way to attract the attention first and how to stand out from that competition. So imagine, if you can, a field full of 1,000 black and white cows. Okay, you got that? Field full of cows. You can hear them, maybe you can smell them, so you got cows. One of those cows is yours. How do you know which one? Well, thousands of years ago, they figured out that if you heated a piece of metal that contained a symbol or a letter or a mark of some kind, and you applied that to the back end of the cow, branding, now that black and white cow would have a mark on it that causes it to stand out from the other cows. That's what branding is. It's a way to cause what is otherwise a commodity business to stand out from the competition. So at the very basic level, it's a mark or a symbol. That's what a brand is. But, and I have a very unsophisticated way of sharing my screen. I'm going to show you some pictures here, and maybe in the chat, you would write down what this brings to mind. Got that one? How about that one? Just write down in the chat what that brings to mind. And then there's these. So I'm starting to see some things come in the chat. Yeah. Okay, so you notice that what comes back when I show you these is nobody wrote swoosh. Nobody wrote concentric circles. Nobody wrote humps, bottle, or fruit. Nobody wrote any of those things. Instead, what they wrote is words. So a brand is basically a word or a name. Now, there are marks that are famous, and they're famous because of continued use and a lot of, as Sammy pointed out, a lot of advertising and marketing. But what gets recalled is a word. So if you're building a brand around a word that you do not own and cannot protect globally, you have a problem. I saw something rather amazing. I went into one of the high-end department stores in Orange County recently, and I happened to be in the cosmetics department with my wife. And what I noticed was that there were brand names all over the walls and on the counters. There were no logos, not a single logo. What there was logo types. So in other words, it was stuff like this. So this is very simple branding, but it looks like in the really high stakes, high dollar cosmetic industry, they're moving away from symbols and branding and going for the use of the word, and it's just a single word. So I'm going to suggest to you that if you have a symbol and there's no word that comes to mind, that you really do not have a brand. For example, tell me what's associated with these. I say nobody can come up with anything on this because there are no words associated with this, but this is the kind of stuff that you see in computer programs that purport to design logos for you and some of the online services like Fiverr and so on. This is what you get back. So can these things become a brand mark? Yeah, they could, but right now they're not. So what you have to have in order to have a brand is you have to have a word or a phrase that you can protect globally. How do you do that? The answer I would suggest to you is you register it as a .com. If you cannot get your name, the name of your company as a .com, that's not the name of your company. So in the health and wellness area, I want to show you this. This is, many of you know Dr. Jill Carnahan. This is Dr. Jill's personal brand, Dr. Jill, and down here it says Jill Carnahan, MD, and has all her credentials. And this is the brand of her practice, Flatiron Functional Medicine. And she owns the .com for Flatiron Functional Medicine. My cardiologist, Dr. Catherine Luddington here in San Diego, has North Coast Cardiology. So this idea that you're going to take some word that you cannot own, like functional, integrative, infinite, organic, holistic, and turn that into some type of a brand, I would suggest to you that's probably not going to work. And I'm going to show you some other examples too that I picked right out of my pantry. Kraft.
Okay, we'll be talking to you later about what you're eating. Keep going.
I'm not eating this. My daughter is. So she's on the cereal Kraft macaroni and cheese diet. So this is Kraft brand macaroni and cheese, and down here it says dinner. In case you're confused about what this is. Let me show you another one, and I'm going to get criticized for this too. Newman's light butter microwave popcorn. Okay, so you get this idea. Here's the brand, and then there's the generic or the commodity. Here's another one. Cheerios 100% whole grain. Actually, up here it says toasted whole grain oat cereal. So this is a formula for a brand. The brand of our company is Changewell. That's the name that we own globally. Training Academy. So the brand name tells us, it distinguishes us from other educational or training institutions. And then it says, for the help of people who may not know what we do, what field we're in. So I would suggest to you that you might want to think about, before you go to somebody like Sammy, what is the word that you want to apply to your brand that will last forever? And what is the generic category of business? And if you're not sure what category of business you're in, that's something that you want to think about. It's particularly difficult if you've decided, well, we're kind of this, but we're also kind of this other thing. What it means is you're not any one thing. I would take you back to Jill Carnahan. Functional medicine. And this, her tagline here under her personal brand is your functional medicine expert, and it's a registered trademark. So I think that's how that I would suggest that you think about building your personal brand and your business brand. I also encourage you to think about your personal brand as a Broadway show. You know the musical Hello, Dolly? Who's the star of Hello, Dolly? Anybody in the chat room?
Oh, we got that.
Barbara Streisand.
Barbara Streisand.
Barbara Streisand. Some people would say Ethel Merman. Recently on Broadway, Hello, Dolly was revived to great acclaim with Bette Midler. But then look at this. Bette Midler is ending her run of Hello, Dolly, and Bernadette Peters is taking over. Jill Carnahan is the star of Flatiron Functional Medicine until and unless she decides she wants to move on and sell it, at which point, if she's built that business to the point where it's sustainable as its own, someone else could step in and star as the head of Flatiron Functional Medicine. So this is how you combine the brand building issue. And I would say to you, if you have not registered your name as a .com, that would be a step that I would take today. And I would go to a domain registrar like GoDaddy. I personally like them. I don't get any money for promoting them. I like them because they do great phone support, and anytime I have a problem, 24/7, I can get somebody on the phone. And I don't think they're terribly more expensive than any other domain registrar. But you want to get your name. Now, please, what I've seen some people do is they'll go and they'll say, okay, I'm going to get my name as a .com. I like sports and I'm a doctor, so I'll get sportydoc.com. Don't do that. What you want is you want your author name, your book author name as a .com. And if you can't get your book author name, that's not your name. Now, that sounds harsh, but let me tell you what happened to me. I started out in the broadcasting business, and I have, my name is Robert John Hughes. On the air, I was known as Bob Hughes. Easy to say, easy to remember. And I happened to work in the news department at radio stations, so it was Bob Hughes with the news, right? And then people started pointing out to me, well, there's a Bob Hughes who's a character on one of the soap operas. And then there's Dr. Bob Hughes, who was my dad. So the branding wasn't really quite precise. I got a job in Washington, D.C. working for one of the national networks, and I drove into town and I figured, this is my big break. I'm listening to a local radio station, and what's the first voice I hear? Bob Hughes with the news. Another guy with my name on a radio station. And it's like, man, this isn't. So later I met him. It is his real name as it is my real name. I tried to get bobhughes.com as my author name because I figured I want to write a book someday. Couldn't get it. Somebody had it. I tried Robert Hughes, couldn't get it. Robert J. Hughes, couldn't get it. Robert John Hughes, couldn't get it. Then I got this email saying, and I got robertjohnhughes.net. Since you own that, you might want to know that robertjohnhughes.com is coming up for an auction if you'd like to bid on it. And I hit the roof. It's like somebody stole my name and is trying to get me to bid on it. So I didn't do anything. A few weeks later, I went on GoDaddy and typed in robertjohnhughes.com. It was available. The other guy, whoever he was, gave it up. I bought it for $9 and I own it today. And that is That is my author name, Robert John Hughes. That's how it came from. So whatever you do, get your name as a .com. The reason why is because that positions you for brand building. And one of the things you have to do as a brand builder is you have to recognize that there's no longer the idea of getting our message out there. That's old thinking. That's thinking from the mass media days where we actually inflict attention on people. What we want to do is we want to attract attention, and the way we do that is instead of by getting our message out there, we have the message that people are looking for and searching for in the Google search engine, because the Google search engine rewards authority. If you write and publish articles, you are seen as an authority. So in other words, the way to get to be an authority is to be an author. That means you need to write and create and publish content. There is a really cool way to do that. There's a little app that you can get on the iPhone, and I presume on the Android platform as well, that connects to Temi.com, Temi.com. This is a fabulous service where basically you can take your iPhone, turn it on in record using the Temi app, pop it on the lectern or the podium or wherever you're speaking. And what it does is it audio records your talk and then sends it to Temi that transcribes it into text. So as you speak, and I'm doing this right now, what I'm saying is being transcribed. So at the end of this session, if I wanted to publish an article with all of the things that I'm talking about today, I have it already in text form. So that's a really cool thing, and I recommend you try that out. Mark Tager and I, we've done some recent work. A lot of what we do, some of the people on the panel here have been to our workshops. We teach people how to talk, how to present in the ways that are memorable. And one of the things that Mark and I were noticing as we were going to various medical conferences was that there are certain kinds of speakers that end up on the main platform at these big meetings, and then there are other speakers who end up in the smaller rooms. And we started to wonder, what's the difference between those speakers? So what we noticed was, based on some of the ideas in our book, Enhance Your Presence, was that the speakers who were on the big stage were the speakers who were motivational. I love the Maya Angelou quote that Sammy used to end her presentation. We use that quote in our work as well. People will not always remember what you do, but they will remember how you made them feel. And this is what motivational speakers do. A motivational speaker, the way we see it, is somebody who opens a new possibility for people, who shows people through their speaking that something that those people sitting in those seats perhaps didn't think about or didn't think was possible, they actually see as the result of the talk that yeah, there is something I could do here. And they leave the talk motivated to do something brand new for themselves. So in other words, these motivational speakers are servant messengers. They bring a message in service to the larger good. We're burying John McCain today, and I think one of his most famous quotes is that he loved his life because it was an opportunity to serve a cause larger than himself. And this is one of the things that I think is especially true of people in our field, in the health and wellness field. We have the opportunity to serve the greater good of humanity, and that is a cause larger than ourselves. And when we do that in the correct way, in a way that's successful, it is an extremely rewarding way to live. And I think I've said enough for now, Tony.
We're guiding the chat room over here. That's been great information. Let me see if we have any questions so far. I love this though. Sammy says she can't use Temi.com because of her accent. She has to use Rev.
Really? It never occurred to me. Is that true, Sammy?
So it won't dictate for her.
Huh.
So walk us through that one more time with the Temi.com. You're saying that it links directly to the phone. So it's an application. I know that we've used that where we'll load video or audio, but you're saying it goes directly into it.
Yeah, they have a website, Temi.com. Basically, what you
Yeah.
can do is you can record. I was using this Zoom recorder.
Yeah.
This is a great way to do it too. I have this actually running here today. You can download the file and then upload it to Temi. That's a little bit of a pain. However, Temi actually has, if I can get the actual screen up here, Temi actually has an app, and it's just as simple. You just call up the app, you push the record button, and you pop the phone down where it can pick up what you're saying. And then when you're done, you just hit another button, and it goes right to the site. And in a few minutes, I mean, remarkably fast. In a few minutes, you get the
content.
You get the text back.
Yeah.
Now,
So Lisa's asking a question here. So the answer to your question here, Lisa, is yes. So she's saying, can it transcribe interviews off Zoom,
Yep.
from a desktop? So yes, you could just load it right into the program, correct?
yeah. Now it will not know the names of the speakers. So all it will do. So this is machine translation. It's digital. Somebody mentioned Dragon Dictation. There are some services that have human transcribers. And if you really need accuracy, yes. What we've found is that Temi is probably 80 to 85% accurate. So, I mean, the big thing with writing that I think is a problem is sitting down and getting started. But, anybody who's been in this business for a while, if I said, okay, give me 10 minutes on what you're really, really good at, you could do it. And if I recorded that and, got it into text form and then edited a little bit, it would be an article, it'd be a blog post.
Right. And you and I talked about this on the summit, in pretty more detail. And I thought this was really great because we use this a lot. And also, we as wellness professionals, we do things differently. Some people are great writers, some people are great speakers. And so whatever you bring to the table, use your tools. So in my situation with my clients, sometimes I'll have them use the Zoom recorder like you've suggested in the past. And then we put that into Temi, and then we can create content. And you're absolutely right on the money. Someone in here, what could we do with the content? So many things. You can create your ebook, you can create your lead magnet, you can create your blogs. It just goes on and on and on. The list goes on and on. So this is really great too, especially if you're that type of person who loves to do video, because those videos, could then be turned into content. So while you're producing and loading a video, say a Facebook video or a YouTube video, you now have a blog and an email that can be correlating with all of that as a marketing positioning. So really great information. You want to tell us a little bit about your free gift?
Yes. We have created a course called Principles of Presence, subtitled Basic Training for Motivational Speakers. And Dr. Mark Tager and I do this. It's professionally shot. It's a pretty slick course, I think. But basically what we do is we take some of the key concepts in our book, Enhance Your Presence, and we bring them to life and actually demonstrate them in video. So, and the reason why we did that is because we know that people like to take in information in different ways. Some people love to read. Some people love to read but have it augmented by a different kind of experience. So this is an opportunity to actually spend an hour with Mark and me on some of the key concepts in the book. So we go through things like what is presence? Actually, what is presence and why do I need it? We talk about how to present in a way that gets your message remembered and recalled, how to actually lead from the heart, how to have a heart-centered, heart-leading approach to your business. The whole concept of the idea of being a servant messenger. And that's really key if you have any kind of presentation anxiety. One of the things we noticed about the motivational speakers is they, not very many of them are of the, the internet marketing guru, high energy and, all that kind of stuff. A lot of them are, they're more, shall I say, professional. They're more consistent with the kind of industry that we're in. And yet they are terribly effective at getting you to feel and to actually transform as you sit in your seat. And so what we're doing with this course, Principles of Presence, is we're basically providing you with a solid foundation upon which you could build a career as a motivational healthcare speaker. Why would you want to do that? Well, again, because one of the things that happens is the more you put out there a message that people want to hear, the more they will, as Sammy pointed out so well, they'll come to trust you. And the more they trust you, the more they'll want to do business with you. There's a couple of people to take a look at. One is Ginger Carnahan. We already mentioned her. You can look at her website and kind of follow her a little bit. Another is Dr. Daniel Amen. Dr. Amen is he's a psychiatrist, and his talk is basically on the theme of you're not stuck with the brain you currently have, and I can prove it. And in this talk, he shows brain scans, including his own, and he shows before and after. Here's what it looked like before, here's the treatment we did, here's what it looks like after. So you see this, and I saw his talk recently, and I thought to myself, that's interesting. I wonder if Dr. Amen has a way that I could see him to get my brain scan. So I Googled it, and sure enough, he has Amen clinics, and there happens to be one in Orange County, not too far from us. So he's a motivational speaker. The speech, the talk that he gave is rewarding in and of itself, but it also leads to his business. And I think that's really, for Mark and me, that is the next frontier of our work. We're going to be looking to work with and more of America's leading motivational healthcare speakers. Several of the people who are currently on our list who have also been trained or coached by us, and we're looking to do more of that because it's tremendously rewarding work.
Thank you, and thank you for the gift. And I know Maria popped on here. We were already talking about how important Vitamin Angel is, and each one of our panelists actually taken the time to donate some really important, powerful gifts for us. So we know that a couple of people, I think we had Eileen and a few people just donate. So don't stop there. If you're listening, go over to find the link inside of the chat right now. I know Holly's diligently putting all of the information in here. And so thank you so much for that, Robert, and all of your words of wisdom, Sir Robert.
Couple of questions here. Who was the first person that I mentioned?
Yes.
I believe it was Dr. Jill Carnahan, Carnahan, and then Dr. Daniel Amen, like Amen, the ending of a prayer, Amen.
Right.
So those are the folks. And if there are any questions after this, rjhughes@changewell.com, you can get right to me.
Yes. Thank you. All right. So we are going to go right into our next speaker, Amy Homewood. Let's take you off of mute there, Amy. And there you go. Okay.
Hi.
So, let me just move this over real quick. We're just going to go right in since we're running a little behind, and then we'll take a break after Amy. So Amy, let me just have that move down there a little bit. Okay. So everyone's typing away. So Amy, go ahead and tell us a little bit about your background, because you have Amy and I have known each other actually through Mr. Hughes, through Changewell. We met years ago. We've been doing some work together, and I've watched Amy just really tackle the health and wellness industry. And it's not her background. So I'm going to let her tell a little bit about herself and really what we're bringing to the table for you today.
Great. Thanks, Tony. And it's such a great, just a great event so far. It's been amazing meeting Heather and learning about brand versus branding. And Robert, I loved just listening to, just reiterating everything that you taught me when I did your course with Dr. Tager. And he called me yesterday, which was so sweet. And he's just excited about, what we're doing and what we're building and how we're becoming a resource for so many people who want to work this way. So basically, I've been a financial advisor for about 30 years. And about 57 now. I retired on my 50th birthday, totally just out of left field, told my husband that I wanted to just have a new door open in my life. And I just was moving 1,000 miles an hour with my career. And I wasn't inspired anymore. So I decided that I needed to take a break. And so I did. I took a break. I stopped and I built a really very robust financial planning business. And fortunately, I worked with my husband. So I was able to kind of say, you're going to have to run this now because starting tomorrow morning, I'm not going into the office. And I was very passionate about holistic medicine and wellness. As a child, I was very sick. I was a severe asthmatic. And my mother was she was a cook. So we always had a garden. She always grew all her own food. And she's just sort of an old hippie. And basically, I just learned a lot of things about how to take care of myself from an early age using natural modalities. And so it just was something, once I was diagnosed with Lyme disease in 2002. So I really needed to take my health seriously. That was so scary to me. I'd seen so many people that have just been in wheelchairs and things. I grew up on the East Coast, and just, you guys all know, as wellness practitioners, this is an epidemic. So I really got interested and was more inspired on this whole genomics revolution that's going on. And I'm going to talk to you guys about, as a financial advisor, looking at, and I'm not just going to talk about sales. I know Holly was talking about me talking about sales. I'm actually going to be, really, this is how I sell. And it's really about building belief in a story. And for me, it was reinventing myself. And I had to start over again because I really always felt that I took shortcuts in my life. I always was looking for a faster way to do something. And I didn't do all the personal growth stuff that really that's really required to get what you really want out of your life. I did a lot of, Tony Robbins, Firewalk and a lot of things over the years. And I still continue to do personal leadership and growth stuff. And it's a really part of success, actually. I'm going to talk about that. But I really felt like I hadn't done the real work, And so I think there's a lot of people out there that are trying to figure out, how am I going to get what I want in my life, and really create a plan for that. Because we're just all moving so fast and we just don't take the time that's required to look inward and just be quiet for a while. So sometimes, the universe just says you have to stop. And that's basically what happened for me with Lyme disease. So I'm going to share some slides with you guys and just kind of walk through what I see and what I'm talking about on a daily basis with people. And I'm a wellness investor. I really did very well in my insurance and financial planning practice, to the point where I could retire if I wanted to. I didn't need to work anymore. But I like to work and I like to learn new things. I'm a lifelong learner, and I want to hang out with other people that just want to learn new things all the time and just continue to grow as a person. So I started investing in wellness categories, and it was in the sustainability market, doing green projects, LEED certified development and things like that after I retired. But I also really got intrigued by wellness. And I want to talk about some of the questions that I was asking myself when I said, now I'm going to go into another business. So I took a year off. I actually went on the show MasterChef. I got to meet Gordon Ramsay and Graham Elliott and Joe Bastianich. Did some crazy stuff in between. I love to cook. But I was asking myself these questions, and I want to ask you guys these questions. If you're looking at a business and everyone is trying to re-engineer themselves, and this information is so valuable because this is how most people want to work now, is doing online businesses. So is the wellness business, and we are talking wellness, product or service that you're engaging in, solve a problem for you? So is it something that is actually going to help you personally in your own life? And I wanted whatever I was going to get into be something that I was really into. So maybe it was going to be, organic food or sustainable construction or whatever. It was something that I'm passionate about, that I can enroll people in that concept. And it's beyond money. Okay. So it's just, is it exciting to you? And is it exciting, and does it solve a problem for other people? So, are there other people walking around saying, God, I wish I had, a better yoga studio, or gosh, I wish I had a better product, or I wish I had something that, could look at my brain and tell me what, Robert's talking about. So is that something that's a big problem for other people? And is it something that you can be passionate about for a really long time? So I think if you ask yourself those questions as you embark on this, there's so many directions we can go in wellness, that whatever that thing you choose is needs to be something that you can be passionate about for a really, really long time and never be tired of talking about it. And for me, it's also something where you're going to be lifelong learning. You're always going to be having to learn new things to stay relevant. And then the next question, which is really where the rubber meets the road, is what do you want from the business? You know, what do you want to create? And I looked at this in a 5-year window, going to, you know, I really wanted to build something that I could say, okay, I built this huge business in, you know, in the insurance industry, and I created a revenue stream for that. But I don't want to take another 30 years to do what I just did. I don't want to do it myself anymore. I was always doing, if I wasn't at the meeting, I couldn't get the lawyer or, you know, somebody, a junior associate to go to the meeting with the client. They're like, where's Amy? I don't want to be there anymore. So, you know, is this something, for me, it was something that I wanted to have more time, and I didn't want it reliant on me, which is totally what Heather was talking, or Sammy was talking about. So for me, it was, you know, it was more time freedom. It was income for sure. I wanted to create an income stream equal to what I generated over 30 years within 5 years. And I wanted to do it online. I wanted to do it where I could work with people all over the world. So look at what it is that you want. For me, that's what it was. I wanted it to be it's inspiring to me, and I wanted to be able to build it in 5 years. And I want to show other people how to do the same thing, because everyone I know, whether it's the people I worked with on Wall Street, or whether it's doctors that I work with, they all want to have more money, and they want more time, and they don't want it all, the stress of everything on them. So, and then what do you want? Why do you want what you want, right? So, you know, why do you want that? What's it going to do once you get that? You know, what is more time freedom going to mean for me 5 years from now? Is that going to make, you know, me be able to go do the other things that I want to do? And really get deep with that, because that's really important to understand why you want what you want. And you know, there's a lot of people that put pictures up, you know, all around their home, reminding themselves of these things, because, you know, this is something that if you don't understand why, you're never going to be able to enroll anyone in your idea, because no one cares what you have. They want to know why you care about what you have. They want to know why you decided to do this. What problem did this solve for you? And so for me, it was really going to be about my health. You know, what could I do to improve my health? How can I show other people how to do the same thing? So that's what and I also wanted at the end to be able to say, you know, I did something that didn't take any shortcuts. I have to tell you, I knew I had to do this personal growth with no shortcuts, and just say yes every time I was scared to death. Just say yes. And I wanted to push through those boundaries of fear, imposter syndrome, and all this stuff that I think so many successful people have. And I'm not really sure why we all have that stuff. I don't want to go back to, you know, my childhood, because I don't have enough time today. But what are you willing to do to get what you want? What are you willing to do? What is Amy willing to do over a 5-year period to get that program that doesn't require her to be sitting in a client's office and then having 25 employees that I have to come back to give them directions on how to put the financial plan together, and all the insurance and all the securities and the responsibility? I didn't want any of that. So that was something, you know, I was willing to do a lot, like all in, full-fledged, all my time for 5 years. And that's basically what I did. And I did research, and I said, what's the biggest economic trend in world history right now? And how can I capitalize on that? Because I saw it my whole life as it was evolving, when I was learning about all these things with food with my mom. And my mom always used to say, she's an old hippie that lives in a little cabin in Northern California, but she'd always tell me, Amy, pay attention to this. You know, CBDs 20 years ago, Amy, pay attention to this. She was telling me all this. And now here we are. This is when it's happening right now. I get chills thinking about it. So in the next 10 years, the U.S. economy will create 10 million new millionaires. That's a lot of new millionaires. And the growth predominantly is going to occur in wellness and in social marketing. How people want to buy things from other people online. They don't want to go out of their house. They want to have a drone drop off their supplements to their front door, whatever. This is the Wellness Revolution, and it's a phenomenal book by Paul Zane Pilzer, and he talks about it. And it's bigger than he's even saying. So for me, I looked at categories within wellness, and you have to see how you're going to differentiate yourself. I'm not a physician, I'm a financial advisor. I was a person using 30 to 40 products a day. And when I met Tony, she was working with another company. I showed her what I had. She showed me what she had. You know, I've talked to so many doctors about all these different things. People are buying stuff like crazy from all different companies. So you just have to kind of pick your pony. And for me, I knew it was going to be a special product. And it was something that I actually started using before I decided I was going to get involved in the business. And it was a big, you know, it was a big leap for me to go in this direction. But I knew this was where the money was, and I knew it was something I could be passionate about for a really long time. So when you look at the sector, and I know this will be shown to many practitioners out there, one of the things I learned by going to A4M, which is the American Association of Anti-Aging Medicine, which is where I met Dr. Mark Tager, you know, that they teach doctors, you know, that are more progressive functional medicine doctors, you know, how they're going to need to change their practices to be able to generate more revenue. And one of those things is going to be about 25% of those physicians, naturopaths, all these wellness practitioners that Robert was talking about when you put that holistic category in there. 25% of their revenue is going to need to come from some kind of supplements. So they're going to have to figure out whether they're going to be doing affiliate marketing, whether they're going to white label their own product, whether they're going to, you know, get in network marketing, direct sales. They're going to have to pick a pony to ride, because if they don't do that, they're not going to make enough money in this to be able to really take advantage of this wellness movement that we're all into. And these patients are all wanting products, and they're saying, hey, they're even driving the doctors in this direction. Hey, isn't there something else I can take besides cholesterol medication? And the doctors, well, you know, maybe I heard about this. I'm not really sure. So the doctors are now they're forced to learn this stuff, because they're going to miss the boat and their patients are going to go see other doctors. So the opportunity of a lifetime has to be seized in the lifetime of the opportunity. And this is where you really have to build belief that what you have, the timing of what you have, and the sense of urgency that you have in this opportunity is right now. It's not like tomorrow or the next day. It's like you have to see things before they happen if you really want to succeed in business, and definitely in wellness. Because this is moving so fast, it's moving faster than Moore's Law. The technology around health and science of genetics and genomics and the Human Genome Project, all that stuff, it's moving faster than Moore's Law. So every 2 years, it's moving faster. So we have to be a part of this thing and really get our head around this, because otherwise we're going to be, we're going to be sitting on the sidelines. So I chose to go in a direction of more of a science-based approach, where this real big wellness tidal wave is around the genomics revolution, nutrigenomics, and personalized medicine. Working in as an investor, wearable devices, all things that extend life, all the areas around food, looking at different companies that make alternatives to like dairy, all this kind of stuff. I invest in that, but I also run a business that has, it's based on a nutrition product that is based on science around changing gene expression. And this is something I really want you guys to pay attention to, nutrigenomics. It's a branch of science that looks at plants and dietary components that change the expression of your genes. And that can be proven through science, through testing, through blood tests and different things like this. This is a new area. And also pharmacogenetic testing, DNA testing. Of the microbiome. You can test your microbiome to see what it wants. All those little critters, there's something called Viome. I did it. I did whole genome sequencing. I did it. Do methylation pathway detoxification, DNA testing. I did it. I want to know what's going on at the DNA level so that I really have the information that I can use so I can live way beyond age 100. I'd like that. It's just something that's kind of a goal of mine. A lot of people out there are interested in this stuff. So there's another conversation called biohacking, where you're pioneering this whole conversation about how can we, improve our human performance? What can we do in every area of our life? And one of those is what we're doing right now, which is running our businesses, even on a Saturday with a Labor Day holiday, guys. Thanks, Tony. But I'm so happy to be here. This is how we can work anywhere, anytime we want to. It's so fabulous. We're biohacking our business right now by working online all over the world. It's fabulous. So we're looking at ways to crack that code of your DNA. And this is where a huge economic trend is taking place right now. And it's just getting started. And you're going to see more biotech companies. And my son is studying bioinformatics at University of California. He's just starting in next week. And he got excited about this because he's been biohacking since he was, since I got into this. He's been taking supplements and doing all kinds of meditation and different things to like change gene expression so he's healthier. So we want to look at how products, how quickly they're adopted, and we want to decide what market who are the customers for this stuff. So I've been doing a lot of research, and there's a category of customer called LOHAS, Lifestyle of Health and Sustainability. They care about health and they care about sustainability. They care about what's the packaging. They care about how stuff's made. They care if it's GMO. They'll care if it's, if they have disposable straws or whatever. Those are those customers that are early adopters and innovators. Those are the ones that we really want to focus on in this wellness revolution. That's what I decided to do. They make decisions quickly. They care passionately about these things beyond just themselves. And this is how you're going to capture that market growth faster in your business, by focusing on what I call the low-hanging fruit. So don't expect everybody to jump on board with what your idea is at all. And it's okay if they don't. We're not expecting them to. All we want, because we don't really have time, we want to push this thing forward over a 5-year period. We just got to focus on the early adopters. And those are the ones that really bring stuff to mainstream. Those are the beginning people that are like, I like being the first one to do this. I like being the first one to do a Viome test. I like being the one talking about it because I'm changing the future, and I want to change the future and make it better. So this is you take this type of a consumer and you put them with the new economy, right? And now you have a tidal wave beyond your wildest dreams of possibilities in your business, where you can own no assets. You can build a network working like we are right now. It's the new era of the entrepreneur. And this is how we're bringing customers and distributors together that are representing things so that they can work in this new environment. And this is what's so exciting to me, because I never got to do this before in my insurance practice. So I was somebody who, I was one-on-one, that was it. And I'd get some referrals, but I only closed maybe 20 cases a year because I had huge, very wealthy clients that spent a lot of money with me. So I didn't need to talk to that many people. And Robert was saying, a lot of motivational speakers, which I kind of see myself a little bit that way, although I don't do that. I see myself as somebody who doesn't really like talking to people, to be honest with you. Okay. Sorry, Robert, you got me pegged. I'm kind of an introvert, believe it or not. Don't have a lot of friends. Love people that I love. And then the rest of them kind of like, unless you're kind of like me and you're really on fire, not really probably going to hang out with you too much. So, but can I do this? Absolutely. Can I love doing this? And do I want to touch more lives because I want to find more people like me that really want to do important things and make the world a better place? So we're disrupting the wellness sector. All of us right now are doing that. I don't know why my screen keeps changing. Disrupting the wellness sector. We're radically changing an industry by introducing new things to it. Branding strategies, learning how to speak, teaching a doctor how to speak in front of a group. It's time to disrupt your old business model. This is what is going to explode your business. You have to be ready and then find that thing that you can be passionate about. And when you think about the implications of exponential growth, and this is a guy, his name is Peter Diamandis. He's absolutely brilliant. He's a futurist, and he's a gazillionaire, talking about where the opportunities are, linear versus exponential. It's like most people's businesses, it just kind of chugs along. You're a doctor, you can only see so many patients a year. The only way you're going to make more money is if you do different surgeries or whatever, versus an opportunity where now you have 5,000 patients that you don't even have to touch, but you connect with them in a different way. And now you're taking advantage of that exponential curve that's going to get you in front of more people, which is what we're trying to, we are succeeding at right now by showing you guys different ways of working your business. And so when you think about the world population and how connected it is today, there are 3.8 billion people approximately connected to the internet. But by 2025 at the latest, the entire planet is going to be connected to the internet. So how are you going to participate by touching more lives and capitalizing on that? And that is where I am excited about being in a sales sort of, I see myself kind of as a salesperson, and it's just building a vision of the possibilities within this industry and showing people that there's a better way to live. And so for me, I built my business on what's called 4 pillars of success. And we run this in our whole team throughout our company. I represent a $200 million publicly traded company. And we have a blueprint. Every business needs a blueprint. So when you get started with your business, you're going to want to hook up with somebody that's going to teach you what are the ins and outs of running that business, whether it's like a franchise guide or whatever. How are you going to integrate that into your business, and what are the things you need to do? And then you need to attend events to continue to learn and hone your craft. You need to continue to connect with people. So go, whatever events there are going on. I go to a lot of medical events. I go to like Enhance Your Presence events, constantly doing, and also events to bring my people that I'm trying to enroll in this idea to see what's really going on. Because you do have to have, like Sammy said, we got to have that human connection belly to belly, because otherwise, we're just not even enjoying this. You've got to see it with your own eyeballs. Daily core habits. What are the daily things you're going to do when you integrate this new thing into your business? What are you doing every day? How many people are you talking to about this? Do you have a list of the things that you do daily to work on that? And it might be something that you're just integrating slowly. A small part of your business is changing, but intentionally having those things be core habits that you create every single day, and then train your staff to do the same thing. And then continuing to grow by learning more about your industry and also about how you can be a better leader in this sector, because we need more leaders to go out and tell the story of how people can transform their lives and have a better financial situation, better health, better way of living, and a better community of people to hang out with. Because I just saw a statistic recently that 75% of doctors are absolutely miserable in their careers. To me, that was heartbreaking. They go through all this school, they go and they think they're going to be doing something really fabulous, and then they get there and it's not what they thought it was going to be, and they're really unhappy. And the suicide rate's high, and they're all drug addicts, problem with that. And so, it's that sad, because they can shift what they're doing. They just have to make a decision that they're going to do that. And that's part of that personal growth and leadership development. How can we show other people that there is a better way? And that's kind of what my, what inspires me. Reading books on self-help. There's so many. I mean, these are old ones. These are the classics. I love the classics. My dad was in the insurance business. He taught me how to, get in front of, this sort of motivational trend back when I was a kid, and understand that these things can really change your life. But also hiring coaches. I hired Tony. I hired her to help me with my business. I want to have a brand, not just a branding strategy. I want to have somebody that I can talk to that really knows a lot about this. So this is really important work if you're going to build a business, whatever it is that you're doing, to hire people that know a lot about, how to help you propel your business forward. And I absolutely love John Maxwell. I went to one of his elite trainings. There were about 50 people from all over the world that were able to work with him, and I was able to really experience the simplest things about personal growth. And I've been reading his stuff for years. But you guys have a personal growth plan. Growth doesn't happen on its own. If we just grew every day, like people aren't where they want to be. Like, we would be so fabulous, right? We would have all the money we want. We'd have our body we wanted. We'd be in the greatest marriage. Our kids would be fabulous. Everything would be perfect, but it's not, because you don't have a growth plan and you're not working on that. So, intentionally setting forth a plan to grow, and, knowing that you're not automatically going to grow unless you say, today I decide I'm going to grow. I'm going to start a wellness business, or I'm going to do whatever this thing is that you have on your mind right now. And, you don't know how to grow. What do I do? How do I do this? You just start writing things down. What are you willing to do today to change? So you have to have map that plan out. The timing gap. Most people say, I don't really have time to work on a personal growth plan. I don't have time to do this new business. I don't have time to do anything. I don't even have time in my own life right now to even take care of me. How am I going to implement something like this? And I always say to people, look at where you want to be 5 years from now. And is the path you're on right now going to take you to where you want to be in 5 years? Is what you're doing with your time, your career, your relationships, is this path taking you to where you want to go? Because if it's not, then time is totally irrelevant that you don't have time. You're never going to have time, and your life's never going to change. So you're going to have to, you drop off to the bottom, the trade-offs. You're going to have to give up some things. You're going to have to say no to that golf match. You're going to have to say no to, the beach house maybe in the summer next year, because you don't have time to do that. You're working on your personal growth plan. And so people are afraid of making mistakes. They're afraid of making changes. And I think a lot of people that have been very successful in other businesses, there's a huge fear around that. Making a mistake. Maybe, they say no to things because they don't want to look like an ass, basically. And because they've been so successful. And I was afraid of that. I was terrified. So I worked really, really hard to make sure that didn't happen. So I really wanted this to work, and it did, and it's happening, and it took me 5 years, and now I'm way more than I even thought of the levels of success. So it's really exciting. The perfection. A lot of people think they need to know everything before they start, and that's not true. Earn as you learn. And that's what Sammy was talking about too. So you really want to just get started and just jump in and make a fool out of yourself, but just get in there, get dirty, roll up your sleeves. And, and when you don't feel like working on it, that's part of your core habits. You know what? You're just going to have to do it because you have that 5-year plan and you want it to look a certain way. I think of it like a movie. You play out the movie. There's scenes, scene 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then scene 5 is going to require the other 4 scenes first. So if that thing you don't want to do is in the first act, you have to do it. Otherwise, the 5th thing isn't going to happen. So I think of everything like a movie when I play. I'm very visual. So that for me really helped me. To think about, how can I see this thing through all the way? And, there's so many of these things, but I just wanted to share these things with you because they were very helpful to me. The one thing I love is growth stops when you lose the tension between where you are and where you want to be. You've got to have that tension, that little bit of pressure. It's got to be there. You got to be pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone in order for this no shortcut plan that I was looking for to actually be a fulfilling plan for me in my life. So I'm going to close out with the common denominator of success. My dad read this to me when I was 14, and I think we all kind of know this. This was written, I think, in 1942. The secret of success of every man who's ever been lies in the fact that he or she formed the habits that failures aren't willing, the things that failures aren't willing to do. You can hold it up to a light, you can put it to the acid test, you can kick it around until it's worn out, but when you're all through with it, it will still be the common denominator of success, whether you like it or not. So we have to be forming the habits that others are not willing to have and do every single day. And that is going to be using these branding strategy, doing all this stuff. So I just so happy. Thank you. I know 28, and I'm using my little Temmie thing. I got it. Hey, Robert. So, right away. Okay.
One thing, thank you for that, Amy. That was really powerful. And this is just exactly what we keep talking about is the trends that are happening. It's the get on board, the conversation around diversifying your business, the conversation around burnout. I mean, we see this, time and time again. And one of the things I wanted to interject here that I think is really powerful about what you've been up to for a while is this opportunity to stay within your core values and to keep moving forward, keep moving forward. Most people have an idea and then they might throw spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. And if it doesn't stick, they just go on and they start to create another idea. That never meant that your idea was bad, quote unquote bad. It just means you need to stay with what you are up to. And we all get to see those breaks. I had a very good friend of mine just recently tell me she was about to throw in the towel of the business plans that she's been putting so much heart and soul and energy into. And I really coached her in her own personal growth and her own personal leadership that I could taste it. It's almost like I could taste her company just getting ready to pop. And I thought, it's so sad. We all know that we get frustrated in life and we go, well, this isn't working and I'm going to walk away. And it's those people who stay the course and believe in it and come from the place of passion first and their real purpose, get to see the benefits of that on the other side. And it's been such a joy knowing you as my friend, as a client, and working with you, elbow to elbow, arm to arm, and watching this whole wellness industry expand. So I have a couple quick questions for you. Someone was asking specifically about your product. Let's see. Gospel. What products do you use and share with others?
Yeah, so we have a line of what are called nutrigenomics, plant-based products that are patented and formulated in the United States, that are using peer-reviewed research to prove they reduce something called oxidative stress in the body and repair mitochondria. So it's really more of an anti-aging type of an approach, but it is based on science with 27 peer-reviewed studies. So it's a combination of herbs that are put together in very low doses. It's almost like a traditional Chinese medicine in Ayurvedic, but it's based on NIH research. And so this is very unique. And I don't really want to promote on this, you guys, but I do want to make myself available to show people what this is and share with them. It's been something that's been totally eye-opening and mind-boggling to me that there's products like this in the world. A lot of people don't know about these things. I was going to a lot of really good doctors and I still wasn't finding products that were this good. So anyway, I'm happy to share with you guys that information. If you just go to my website, amyhomewood.com, and Tony can share with you guys to let you know where that information is. She just helped me build my new website. It's so beautiful. And I'm happy to give just a 1-week sample to anybody that's interested. I can send it out and send you some information. So I really appreciate being on with you guys.
Thank you. And thank you again for that. We do have some extra additional gifts. We're going to have Maria pop back on here so we can talk about the panelists. And we're going to take a 10-minute break, and then our lovely Dr. Heather Stafford is going to come on. So we'll be right here 2 seconds.
Hi. Okay, I guess I'm back. So amazing, amazing information. Robert and Amy, thank you. Incredible. I want to go back to Robert for a minute because I didn't get to pop in on the break. So Tony and I have known Robert and Mark for a few years. We've both done their Enhance Your Presence live training on how to be a more effective speaker and presenter. So super valuable, the gift that he's giving. I really highly encourage you to not only donate, because we're making a difference in the lives of 61 million children and 50 million mothers, but you also get the gifts that our generous speakers are offering. And Robert and Mark are incredible. Like, their way of teaching how to present your gift to the world effectively so that it's received is it's super fun. And I kind of consider myself an introvert. So when we went into that class, even though I grew up in theater and performing and stuff like that, there's a big difference between a physical performance from an athletic standpoint and an emotional presentation, totally different. So raising your energy, being effective in your speech, having a beginning, middle, and end to your presentation is just helps you be more effective and get your message across and change more lives, which is really what we're up to. And Amy, thank you so much for helping us get really connected to, let me look, I wrote this down because I thought this was amazing. Like, when do we get to ask the question, what do you want from your business? Like, that's not a selfish question. That's like, it's your life. What do you want from your business? Why? Why do you want it? And what are you willing to do to get there? And I thought what you said about having the habits consistently that others are not willing to do, for example, like, we don't have cable. We don't sit around for hours on end watching the Housewives of Beverly Hills. Sometimes we do unplug and watch Netflix, but it's like, what are you willing to do in your life to get where you want to go? So I love that. So let's get back to Vitamin Angels. So just to recap again, this organization has been around since 1994, started by Howard Schiffer after he saw a need to make a global impact on the health of children and mothers in need. And he started off by doing vitamin A. That was his original push, because he really saw that just supplementing vitamin A could help with, I think it says 7,000 newborns die daily due to malnutrition or just mortality due to not having a good pregnancy or whatever. So this is a huge number where we get to make a difference. So vitamin A was the original push. Now he has a new goal. I wrote this down. This is really cool. So his new goal is to affect 50 million mothers by 2030. So that's what we're working on today. Let's just say that we're working to affect 50 million moms who need prenatal vitamins and nutritional counseling in order to have a healthy baby. If you've ever had pregnancy and a child, this is the most important time, not just for the newborn, but for the mom too, so that she gets to continue to live a super healthy life, because that's really important. That newborn needs a mom who's healthy and strong to take care of him or her. So one of the things we talked about with vitamin A, just getting back to the nutritional gap there for them, vitamin A is found in foods like liver, fish. It's also found in things like leafy greens and sweet potatoes. And these are all foods that these communities have access to, and they don't have fortification either. Like we have vitamin A fortification in developed countries. They don't have that. So, if you're not having vitamin A, you're going to have things like, you're going to have stunted growth. You're going to have a depressed immune system. You may be blind, or you may not live at all, because, we can all imagine the circumstances that some of these communities are living under. And it's, there's a lot of crazy viruses and bacteria and parasites and things like that in their environment, that they need strong immune systems. So they get to live, okay? So $197, we really appreciate your donation. And let's talk a little bit about gifts again. See, we talked about Amy. Of course, we talked about Tony's gifts. Let's talk about John. Let's talk about Robert John Hughes, because he was just on. So the gift that Robert is offering is a one-on-one Present Well coaching session. So as I said, I've done their live class. Tony's also done their live class. So this is a one-on-one session that you get to learn some skills on how to be a better presenter, right? So super important. Really encourage you guys to get on stage, to teach a class, to do a live webinar, something that's outreach. It will make you a better practitioner. It will, we're not talking about list building right now, but it's a great way to build a list. And it will also help you build your confidence. So I know for me, when I first started going live with
Maria.
Yeah.
Robert actually upgraded it to his full power of presence.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Look
We
at that.
decided that this morning. Him and Tony and I were chatting, and he decided that he was going to upgrade it to the full power of presence. It's a program.
You guys, that's awesome. So even better. Thank you, Heather.
Uh-huh.
Okay, power of presence. That's amazing, you guys. So definitely, then you definitely want to do this. This is a big deal. We haven't even covered, and thank you, Heather, because we haven't even covered Heather's gifts. Do I get a chance to go over that, or should I talk about Heather?
We're going to talk about it right now. Heather's going to come on here.
Oh, Heather, I'm going to let you talk about your gifts after but you're not going to want to miss Heather either. She is a big part of our family now, and is supporting Tony and I to be bigger, be stronger, be better, be bolder. And so you're not going to want to miss. So definitely stay on to listen to Heather Stafford, because she's our miracle worker. Can we take questions on Vitamin Angels or no? Yeah. So if you guys have any questions on Vitamin Angels, let's see if we have any here. Just type them in the chat there. So when I went and interviewed with Vitamin Angels, I got to sit down with Howard. And he is so involved, and he sits with every employee that comes into that office. And they're looking for things like, you know, are you passionate? Are you a giver? Are you in the world to make a difference? Are you, you know, do you fit in with our culture? Like, they're so intentional because their mission is so valuable, and they want to make sure that everybody is really up to this global impact of making a change in the world. So I think it's really cool. He's a super soulful guy. And Vitamin Angels is one of the most successful foundations in the world. They are very transparent. They have one of the strongest financials. They give well over 90% of their proceeds into their cause. So, you know, from a nonprofit standpoint, that's incredible. So you get to be part of that value and part of giving out. You know, we talked about on the last break as practitioners, as how can we make a bigger, more global impact. And this is definitely, you know, for Tony and myself, we really want to make give to give part of our business model. You know, it's not just about taking in revenue. It's about how can we be more out in the world and give and make a difference. And this is our chance. So you guys, the gifts are valuable. I haven't even gone over all of them yet. It's not even, to me, it's not even a question. And Tony is going to come on and talk about what she's giving a little bit later, but $197, go do it. You get to give, and you get to also receive a huge amount of gifts from our speakers here today. And you know, we're not charging for this event. This is definitely a huge give. So this is our ask from you, is that you reach in and that you give, because you know, we all get to be the change that we want to see. And these are folks who don't have resources. You know, they can't get on the internet and search, how do I have a healthier newborn? You know, they don't get that chance. So one of the things we talked about this as well is they get nutritional counseling. They get our partners with Vitamin Angels. You know, I think they have like 1,100 nonprofit partners worldwide that they network with. They get one-on-one counseling with someone to understand, you know, how do I get enough protein a day, you know, to support my newborn? So they get someone to sit down with them, you know, since they don't have Dr. Google at their fingertips. So there's that value as well. So please give. Thank you so much for listening. I think, are we ready to move on? Yay! Okay, you guys, here we go.
All right, we're back. We're so pumped up right now. We just got a couple more donations in, so thank you, everyone. Right now, let's just reach really deep, dark in your little crevices of your wallet, pull out that, you know, wrinkled up dollar and throw it in the kitty. You don't have to just donate the $197, just keep donating. Donate more. All right, we are going to bring on Heather right now, just in the chat room. So you know, we are listing all of the masterclass gifts right now in the chat room. Okay, so Heather.
Tony.
Hi, love.
Hello.
Let me get you up here. So let me introduce you to my friend and gal pal, Dr. Heather Stafford. And Heather actually was introduced to me through a mutual friend, and we started collaborating and working on the back end of my business, Maria's business, and I came to fall in love with her because she's wickedly smart, total complete strategist. She has a doctorate in computer science, a master's in branding, right? Brand marketing?
Marketing and brand strategy.
Yeah, so she's kind of smart, a little bit. So I'm going to we're going to actually talk a little bit about strategies for the wellness professionals here. I'm getting a little feedback there. Let me just turn me down a little bit. And we're going to banter here a little bit, but why don't we talk about the extra gift you just gave?
So we went offline for the break, and I called Tony, and I was like, hey, I committed to raising $10,000. What's in the gap? What do we got to do? What do we have to do? And she was like, okay, well, let's brainstorm this. And I was like, listen, I have something that I only give my private clients. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Heather Stafford. I am the CEO of Creative Tech Consulting, and I am a business structure strategist and product delivery and fulfillment specialist. I build the online structure and the house that your business lives in and how it runs without you. So, all the things that Sammy was talking about in the beginning when I was like, yes, yes, your business can run without you. It can absolutely do anything. You can do anything, absolutely anything. So I told Tony that I was going to give away something that I've never given away ever before. Like I don't just sell this. It's not something you can buy. It's not something you can grab on the internet. But most people's problem in business when they're getting started is, where am I going to find clients? Or how do I find leads? Or how do I fill my pipeline? So my team and I got together because one of the biggest fears for most entrepreneurs and visionaries is technology. And we created 7 hacks to lead gen, gaining your first clients, and hitting your first 5-figure month without technology. So for the next 10 people that donate, I'm going to give that away.
It's huge.
As well as the gift that we put together for the live stream.
Thank you. Thank you. So that's for the next 10 generous souls out there. Holly's keeping track. So we're starting right now for the next 10 people. And this is a really big deal. So let's talk about that, because we just threw out the term lead gen. Why don't we start right there?
You've heard it. And I'm sure you've heard probably 7,000 other tech statements like lead magnet and funnel and live stream and masterclass and webinar, and there's all the things, and they all take technology, and they're all so big. So lead generation, where do you get your clients? Who are you solving a problem for? Who's your ideal client? And how do you get in front of them? Because people are all over the world. And there is about 10 million right ways to do this. But lead generation, especially when you're driving a wellness business that has a presence online, can be simple or it can be hard. So for Tony, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Sorry, sweetie.
There you go.
Thank you.
For Tony, especially, what we did recently, for lead generation, is Tony's written a book. And she was like, hey, I wrote this book. It's not very pretty. We're not quite ready for it. I don't really know how to present it to the world. Like, how can we get this out there to help people? And it was in the give to give model. How do I get this in front of the right people that need it so that I can support them? That also puts her in front of the perfect and ideal clients. So we designed the book. We made it into an ebook. It is a touch-based, fillable, transitional document that you can actually download off of Tony's site. Mm-hmm. And when you download it, she also gives you the opportunity to let her talk to you and help you through the workbook so that you can get the most out of it and take the next quantum leap step in your business. So that is a basic explanation of what lead generation is. Mm-hmm. Now, for her, we used a lot of technology. I have a team of 19 people that work with me that are epic and amazing in their own rights. And we put it together so that it worked without her. But there's 100 ways to get started. And that's kind of what we put together for you. We put together a way to get started without the tech, without the upfront costs, without all the branding and the marketing and the printing and all the things that a brand new entrepreneur might not be able to jump into. It's like, how do I get out there and get clients? Mm-hmm. Because we want you guys to soar. The whole point of being an entrepreneur is to be successful.
Yes.
That's just it.
It's so relevant because a lot of the Mindshare Collaborative platform, and we do have these beautiful wellness providers that come in, and they have their book, or they have their book with their program, or their book with their 12-week back end, and that's great when you are at that level. But even at that level, people get super confused, and what happens is they throw a lot of money into a lot of different buckets, i.e. social media, i.e. their website, all of that. And what comes back out of that, I'm getting a little feedback. Let's see. What ends up happening out of that is we end up getting this major disconnect that happens with all the different platforms, and a lot of money gets invested into that right away. So what's so great is for the wellness entrepreneurs that are starting off, or someone who's new to this industry. I just spoke last weekend, and out of the team of people I was really blessed to speak to, I would say 85% of them were brand new practitioners, hadn't even seen their first client. So we're talking about lead generation, and really what we're talking about is how do we create energy for your brand. So let's talk a little bit about like, what are some like really basic things that people can do in that space? You got it?
Exactly. So, Tony, what do you think the wellness professional struggles with the most when it comes to creating a business in technology?
I would say understanding, because as Robert had talked about earlier, all of the wellness professionals, these beautiful healers, go to school and they learn how to heal. They learn the best ways to heal. They learn what they can do, you know, when they have a client in front of them. What they don't learn is business 101. You know, what I always say is this, two things I say. You go to school, you get your shingle, you hang it outside, you throw some money at marketing, maybe, and you hope that they will come. The other thing I say is, unless you're sleeping with Zuckerberg, you don't know what money you want to be spending in social media, because everything when you wake up is always changing, right? So you have this confusion going on, and then what ends up happening is I end up, you know, shoving my head in the sand because I just don't know what to do. So I think some of the biggest challenges are most people do nothing because they don't know where to start. It's overwhelming.
So, for all you wellness providers out there, you are not the only industry that does this. It's not just you, it's everybody. And we all get stuck in not knowing where to start. Mini backstory, this is my 7th company, and I actually own an S Corp and 3 companies underneath of it. And this is the 7th time I've done this. And my first 2 failed miserably because I had no idea what business 101 was. How to handle your books and how to structure your payroll. Like, wow. I was like, huh? I have to what? Because we're visionaries. Like, you're here to make a difference in the world. You're here to like take a stand and put your mark on it. You have a zone of genius. You have a gift. And you're like, okay, I just want to go do my gift. Can somebody here do this for me? This would be really great. And hiring a team right off the bat is not easy. So there's some basic steps that you need to go through. And like just some getting started things that you should do to build the business in the right order. How to hire your coaches, mentors, and support team in the right order. So when you get started, you take your vision. It's like I have a vision currently to raise $10,000 for Vitamin Angels. Okay. How am I going to do that? And you break it up. Okay, well, I need 5 clients. I need 20 of you to donate now. And I might pop something else awesome in there to get you to do that because I've committed to a vision of $10,000. Okay, so it's a great example. Tony has a vision of impacting 1 million wellness professionals and taking their business to a quantum leap next level. And I am enrolled in her vision. Now, what that takes from her is to teach, coach, and be the stand for all of you to get where you need to go. And what she needs is somebody to build, house, manage, and grow the back end of her business so that her products and fulfillment work like a well-oiled machine. So you start with one thing, first and foremost, and that is your signature offer. What can you do? What problem can you solve? And who can you solve it for? And do it in your sleep. This does not have to be a $10,000 offer. This does not have to be a complicated anything. Tony, you raised your hand.
Right. I raised my hand because your 10 slots were just taken up. What else do you have?
Oh, 10 slots are taken up. Tony, what do you want?
Let's see.
Okay, for the next 10 people,
Sammy,
I will
thank
give
for
you
the
a
information.
one-on-one private breakthrough after, like, in the bundle I gave away a business systems audit. And so the systematic structure of your business and what software and programs and bells and whistles and ducks and technology, like you're already going to get that audited. What happens afterwards is you now have this audit. And I will give you a private one-on-one call with me. I do not do these unless you are on a retainer with me. And it is a 12-month contract and it's $5,000 a month. So I will give you a one-on-one audit analysis and I will help walk you through setting up the right kind of systems. 10 people, clock starts now. So what we're talking about is
let's go. Yeah.
how to build a business
Hey,
in the
I
right
just
way.
want to say something too. It might get better, so don't hang up yet. Stay online.
Bring
We're
it.
going to keep adding gifts. I've got two more to add. Keep going. Okay, so building your business online.
So building your
That's 10
business,
people.
pick a signature offer. Pick one thing you can do in your sleep and make it simple. Like Sammy said earlier, you do not need to be branded. You need to be your brand. So be the change you want to see in the world. It is not about when I have this, then I will do that, and effectively I will be happy. You will be what you need to be and do something simple. Put it together. I have a five sessions and nutrition supplements analysis for $500. And it takes 5 weeks. Done. There's somebody's product. So whoever wants that, give me a call. We'll build that. That's easy. Super easy. Quick email list. Nice little scheduler. Wham, bam, and away you go. Go get clients. Go help people. Like you guys are put in this world to help people. I am in awe of every wellness professional out there, especially everyone that's worked with me. Because I'm still the kid that is on the like, if you give me a cookie, I'll do whatever you want. Whatever you want. I am on the food as a gift, like cookie. Okay, what do you need? So for all you wellness professionals, like you guys have spent your lives and poured your hearts into making people healthy, happy, balanced, beautiful. Talk about anti-aging. Amy, whatever it is, like I'll send you my credit card. I need it. Like, can we deal with this? I'm in. As long as it has simple instructions, I'm buying. It is that good.
Well, and
you guys have gifts.
And here's the thing too, is that, you know, there's, I think that the brilliant thing that you do with clients also is slow people into what is that? Because here's the other thing that we run into is I have so many gifts that I want to give all my gifts away, like all of my cookies at once, right? Like, here you go. And then it's like, I don't know what I am. Am I a detox specialist? Do I want to do weight loss? And then, over here, my friend, you know, client, whatever, has an infertility thing going on. And before we know it, or unfortunately, the sadder side of that is I came out to be, you know, let's say a weight loss specialist, and I can't make ends meet. So now I'm just taking any client and every client. And, you know, that whole saying, as broad as broke and niche is rich, but people do have this, they generate this scarcity model in their lives where they think I have to serve everybody because that's how I'm going to get clients. And then what Amy, you know, talked about earlier, what we continue to see in this marketplace is the burnout ratio, you know, unfortunately the suicide ratio, unfortunately, you know, there's just so many things, and this is supposed to be health and wellness. And these doctors and health professionals come at it with a passion for something. So when I start with my clients, the first thing I always ask my clients is, tell me why you became a healer. Why are you a healer? What made you become a healer? And 99% of the time, it's very rare that I don't speak to somebody who doesn't say a personal story. It's very rare. It's like literally like doesn't happen. It's either their own personal story or they're somebody immediate in their family. You know, it's something that shifted their life and they thought, I'm going to go, and this is the direction I'm going to go in. And we get to start talking about that. That we start talking about their why, and we move into the platform of what is your why and what is that message that you want to tell the world. And where we get into the hiccup around that is people start to lose that. And I think what we talk about from the back end of technology is important because yes, there's ways to automate systems and yes, there's ways to do all this stuff. But what Sammy and Robert and Amy and everyone has already shared is, but don't lose you in the conversation. Keep you front and centered,
Exactly.
right? So
That's the
how do
biggest
we,
part.
yeah. So how do we
So-
streamline that conversation when you start working with clients?
Okay, so one of the things, and I did do this to Tony. I was like, whoa, I love you, and breathe. Step one. You guys, you have to remember, like, you start with step one. And it's always, who do I serve? Like, what's my why? And you take your why. Okay, great. Let's create one. And you heard me, one, not two, not five, one. You get one signature product and you're going to create it and you're going to go make an epic difference. That is all you're going to do. Eat, sleep, breathe. It does not have to be complicated. And there can be zero technology behind it. Get comfortable with yourself. Yes, I know Tony introduced me as a doctor, and the truth of the matter is it took me 11 years to get through school. And I took this many wrong turns. My little brother came out of the womb and got a master's degree in 5 and graduated from high school early and is an engineer. And I was like, I'm never going to be that kid. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. And it was because I wasn't following my gut. I wasn't listening to my dream. Like, who am I and what am I here to bring to this earth? And my zone of genius is taking your vision and going, okay, this is what your little house looks like. You need this. I need you to learn this one and this one. And I need you to hire an assistant for this, this, and that. And go help everybody, because you get to be what you're trying to do, not the books and not the back and not the funnels. Not the graphics. Like, you guys, this company, it's the third one inside of this S Corp. I launched it and we did 6 figures in 6 months and multiple 6 figures in 9 months. And we are on trajectory to hit $1 million in less than 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have a website up until about a week ago. And the website that's up currently is terrible.
Yeah.
I got a challenge from
I told her we're gonna rebrand her and build her website.
Right. I got a challenge from one of my strategy coaches. He was like, I need something online. And I was like, you're not gonna like this. He's like, why? I was like, I don't need a website. You don't need a website. You don't need a website. You don't need fancy pictures. You don't need, pick a font, type your name, type what you do and what you solve. On the backside, put your email address and your phone number. I highly suggest you have to get your URL. Get your URL and then like, I own Heather Daphne. So my last name is Stafford. I don't use it because there's another Heather Stafford out there. My middle name is Daphne. So I have heatherdaphne.com. And I have heather@heatherdaphne.com. And my cell phone number on a white business card. You can print them at Kinko's for like $3. Don't make it complicated. Get some traction under your feet. Go make an impact. You will have followers. I didn't build a business like this because I had all the tech toys. My company actually has less tech toys than my clients do, because I build them for my clients.
What is Sammy saying? Sammy says she built the Brand Builders Club into a global brand in 18 months without a website. There you go.
Sammy, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
But let me ask you something, because you probably see this a lot too, because I definitely see this with clients, is we like to be in action. And so we think that action means doing something. And if I'm building a business, the business house looks like I should have a website. I should have a business card, right? So do you see that a lot where people come to you and they're like, well, I'm supposed to have all these tools.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Sammy shaking her head. Yeah.
I'm going to debunk what we call the everlasting brick and mortar marketing model, because that is what happened. It started with brick and mortar. So the internet didn't exist. So we have no internet. The internet doesn't exist. And then lo and behold, here comes the World Wide Web. And every brick and mortar company, every marketing agency, everybody was like, you need a website and you need an email list and you need a this and you need a that. No, you don't. No. The answer is no. You need a way to keep in contact with people. You need a way to email them. And you need a way to capture that email information appropriately within the letter of the law. Get an email marketing system. It's like $19 a month. Aweber's great. I always tell people use them because it's easy for an end user to use. It's super simple. You get it. You type in there. You add people's email addresses. You send. And then everybody gets to hear your message. You get to hit feet to the street. Like, I love you and feet to the street. And go talk to people. Shake hands with, talk to people, and tell people what your vision is. Like, my vision is to heal 1 million people. Tony wants to build $1 million businesses. Like, hello, do you know how much time that's going to take? Forever. And she's committed to it. She is committed to building $1 million businesses with wellness professionals, no matter what it takes. And she's a stand for her vision. It's about vision. It's not about the doing. Yes, Sammy, it is called the doing syndrome. Get out of the doing. Oh, I have to do this and I'm going to go around and do that. And I have to make my message perfect. I can't send that out until, oh my God, send it out. You guys would laugh if you saw some of the emails my company sends out. I have typos in them. Who cares?
Yeah, Heather and I were having this conversation, and I say this a lot. I know Amy's heard me say this. I know that we see this a lot, especially with business coaches, is that done is better than perfect, right? Done is better than perfect. Just do. Let's just do and get it out there. And most of the time what we see is like some of the top business coaches will have typos. They'll have, hiccups in their brand marketing. That's called being human, by the way, is that we don't need to be perfect, right? We're just continuing to move forward.
So
Yes.
You guys met her at the beginning of the live stream. Holly Tech is part of Tony's team. She's part of our family and our community. We have all been a close-knit group for a very long time. And she just posted in the chat. Holly is a phenomenal copywriter. Like, wow. Like, oh, wow, oh, God, oh, wow. She writes beautiful words and doesn't care about typos. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present. Be present. Be in front of your clients. Like, go wherever you need to go. I don't care if your town has 1,500 people in it. There is an Elks Club. There is is it BNI? Is BNI the one that a lot of wellness professionals?
Yeah, and Toastmasters and meetup groups.
Women's groups and Weight Watchers,
right?
Ladies groups and the walking ladies that walk around the mall before it opens. Oh my God, do you know how nice they are, by the way? Like, I love those women. I walk my dogs in the mall in the morning. It's great. They are so cheerful. Like, go say, hey, how can I support you?
Now, and
what's
also,
your biggest struggle right now?
also remember what Robert taught. Take your Zoom recorder with you or your phone and record all of those talks so you're turning that into content. So for those people who aren't phenomenal writers, turn that into, flip it into Timmy or Rev into content, and boom, now you have your email written. Like, it's really, I think we overcomplicate the situation so much, and it's great to talk to somebody.
We absolutely do.
Yeah.
And there's a way to build a business in the right order. It's get yourself started. And because every business, like, you're either going to invest time, sweat equity, or money in the beginning. And I can show you how to do both. You want to write a big fat check? Great. I can show you how to hire a team in about 6 minutes. It's perfect.
Right.
I personally believe that at the very end of the day, the heart and sweat equity gains better results.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that you can grow really fast? Absolutely. Do I think that it's necessary? Sometimes. It really depends.
Okay.
But there's tons of things. We have a ton of questions.
Yeah, I was going to say, so we have one here. This is good.
More, Heather.
Do you see this one from Lynn?
Kelly, you donated before the webinar started. Okay, Kelly, I'll make you a deal.
Oh, wait a minute.
Gonna make it. It's Tony's turn to make a deal.
I'm going to make a deal here in a second. So
Also, I really want
Kelly,
started.
we'll take care of Kelly.
Yep.
Holly's got.
There was a woman right before
Yeah.
we started.
I have a question here.
Catherine.
Oh yeah.
Catherine, I want to acknowledge you. You popped on and you're like, I don't have much money. Like, I want to donate $10. And I was like, I'll grab you a link. Hold on. Catherine, I will make sure Holly's going to get your contact information, and I am going to get on the phone with you and do a one-on-one. I think it is a very big deal. It's not about the money. If Sammy and Robert and Amy and Tony and I sat down and said, okay, we need this funnel, this and this and this, like, let's raise $1 million. We could do it 10, like, we want you guys to be a part of what we're up to. We are committed to building a community of leaders in the industry that are leading with a giving model. It is not about the money. It is about the commitment and the determination. So Catherine, you have a one-on-one session with me, and we will determine what it is that you need, my love. Because I'm really, really impressed with you standing saying, I have $10 to give. Please show me how. That's impressive. That is what we do this for. This is how we build businesses. This is how we build life. So Tony, floor's all yours.
Thank you. I have a couple quick questions for one from Lynn. Let me see if I can get back to it. I do technical and copy, I guess as I have. This is so painful to hear, LOL. But definitely is a place that has stopped me before. Learning to move forward out of perfection is something I'm learning to do as well. Don't want to be stuck. So yeah, so this opportunity around the technical and the copywriting. So I have another question here. So let's see. We have Sammy saying she uses ActiveCampaign, Infusionsoft, Aweber for my different businesses. So yeah, let's talk about that just real quick. Let's talk about a few tools. So we were talking first off about email marketing, really, right? Like stay in contact. Connection is currency. We get it. Sammy gave us that quick little funnel. I know it's up here somewhere, Sammy, about the connection and converting equals cash, right? So it's this whole thing. So when we get into the world of jumping out there, you're going to hear a lot of different tools. There's let's just talk about email marketing, right? There's everything from Infusionsoft to Aweber to MailChimp to, I mean, there's a bunch of them. What we're putting out here to everyone is that none of them are wrong and not one of them is perfect. It depends on where you are in your business and in your business model. Aweber is probably the easiest one to learn that's going to give you more flexibility and keep you moving forward. So we're looking at platforms from that perspective. What I've learned, like working with Heather, is she's like, okay, and if that doesn't work for me, then I just go and write the software. So she gets to play with some stuff on the back end too.
Be nice.
Okay, here we go. I know. Here's what Sammy put in here. So trust builds credibility. Credibility builds conversation. Conversation. Conversation builds conversions, and conversions build cash flow. Cash flow builds the business, right? Like that.
Sammy, I love you.
Right?
You
Funnel.
And vacation. Bring your family and come vacation with me. I'm around you. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Right.
That is it. Like everything is based on, it's based on connection. Like I'm aware that there is all the things that a business needs. And yes, get square with the IRS. Like hire an accountant or somebody.
Right.
Make sure you get your big kid ducks in the row. And also, like, don't make it complicated. Go make an impact. It's about building community, connection, and conversation. That is what builds credibility.
With donation. Okay. So
because realistically, nothing about my business has anything to do with my education. My business did not make a dime because I have a doctorate. Not a chance in the world. Some of it is because I do things like, I wore a clown suit to an event once because we were working with people who had a bunch of kids. Right. That was what was up. Like I do whatever it takes to make an impact on the people I'm around. It has nothing.
Okay, we have another announcement to make.
Yeah,
Sir Robert. He says, I'm inspired. Here's an extra gift. For anyone who donates right now, you have access to, the chat keeps moving, give me a second.
Presentation Secrets of America, leading motivational healthcare speakers. Each video in this series identifies a speaker and a speaking technique. Oh, wow. They use to motivate their audience. It includes 20 prominent healthcare speakers so you can learn from that's impressive. Robert, you are the bomb.
Thank you, Robert.
Yes.
Keep going, keep going,
Yes.
keep going. Okay, so I'd like to know all the people that are out there. How many people do we have online right now that are new practitioners? Let's see if we can get a raise of hands. Type new into the chat.
Type new, raise your hand, say yes.
A couple people in the raised
Emma.
hands. 3, 4, 5. Keep going.
Kinga, build your wellness business. Awesome.
All right, so we do have some.
We have
Let's
some
see.
newer
We have some
practitioners.
newer practitioners in there. Okay, so for the newer practitioners that are out here, one of the things I'm going to donate is actually how to build your signature product. It's $1,000 value. So anyone who donates right now, along with everybody else, is going to receive the access to that. It's something that Maria and I put together, and it's extremely important, I think, because like we were talking about, we do have a lot of opportunities to build different programs inside of our practices. And we start to go down that rabbit hole of thinking I should be like everybody else because everybody else is teaching weight loss, detox, whatever it is. But when we start to build the program, we get lost in the shuffle of how to build it where it's going to land with the consumer. So what we look at, we say this a lot in our brand strategy, in our signature brands products, is where is your transformation? Where are your results? So when you're building your product, what are you causing? Right, we use that a lot. So we're going to throw that in there too. So let's keep going, keep going, keep going. Let's see, where are we right now, ladies? I think we're almost 6K.
We're almost, okay, you guys, I got $4,000 to get to the end.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
So awesome and amazing. Holly, I have to tell you how much we love you, because I want you guys to know that the team sitting on the back end of this, we didn't warn them about any of this.
Yes.
Nothing. Tony and I decided to ad-lib this and then didn't tell anybody. Not the other panelists, no one. We were like, let's go try something. This sounds like fun. And I happen to be, a really big supporter of being a catalyst for change. Yes. So we've got some new wellness practitioners who is stuck at what we call the very first glass ceiling. You've got a business, you're getting some clients, you're probably making anywhere from $0 to like $2,500 a month. But the client business is inconsistent, and you feel like you don't quite fit in your industry. Jamie.
Got 3 raised hands. Jamie, me.
Who else has got their hands raised? Catherine, we need to build you some income. Girl, we got you. We're going to. Ruth. Okay. So the inconsistency, the ebb and flow, that's about when you're getting your feet wet, you're figuring out where you fit. You are doing what we call proving process. So this is why I tell you in the beginning, you get one product. Please hear me when I say you only get one. I know that you have beautiful visionary ideas and you're like, and I'm going to do one of these and we're going to do this and I want one of those and put it all on the cart, and $25,000 later, let's go ahead and have a shopping trip.
Dr. Ruth said, haha, too late.
Well, Ruth, never too late. Holly is right. It is absolutely never too late. Like, you have all the products and all the things and your fingers are kind of all over everywhere. Great. Let's focus you in, like shift, because you get to be really, really like just impactful and like change driven doing one thing. And once you've got 10, 15, 20 people going through that one thing and you're seeing epic results with your clients, you're like, oh my God, I have all these testimonials. Like, I'm just so excited. You're on fire. We can take that process, and here's the trick. I can automate it and I can make it run without you.
Yes. Yes.
If you do the footwork, you have to start from the beginning.
Let me ask you a quick question here too. We're starting to run at the end of our mark here. So let's keep going, everyone, for donations. What is suggestions? And any one of our speakers, please feel free to come online.
You guys chime in.
We've got lots of questions coming in. So let's play now. Let's play. So what do you think if somebody does have a lot of multiple products that they've created because that felt good at the time, and we're telling them like, let's slow down that process. Where's a good place for someone to start? Is it worth their their passion, or is it like something that's already been proven to make money?
It's never about the money. It's not about what you want, and it's not about the money. So neither one of those answers are right. Okay.
Good.
Where do you cause? Where are you causing results for clients? Where are you making the biggest change, impact, result? Take a look at that and say, okay, because that's the thing that you're doing in your sleep.
Right.
It is. Sometimes the thing, I'm at a point now where the thing that I do in my sleep really is also my favorite thing in the world to do, and I get super wound up about it. But in the beginning, it was like, okay, well, I'm really good at this. And I was like, is this my passion? I mean, my passion is people. I just want to be all over you guys and like hug you and make your businesses better. I want to see you grow. I want you to get on stage with Tony Robbins, who happens to be a really good friend of mine. Like, I want you guys to have whatever it is that you want.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wait a minute. We just got another offer. Amy, I love you. Amy's offering her anti-aging
Yes,
product as part of
Amy.
her offer. Yes. So let's keep going. Pull out those wallets, people. We're going to make the change.
do it.
Be the change for Vitamin Angel.
Okay,
Yes, I
guys
love
and
it.
gals.
Amy.
So
Go, Amy.
I have a product line that just won the top 3 new products out of the entire world. Okay, top 3 in the world, from an organization that ranks companies from technology to consumer products to health products to, we were in a pharmaceutical, nutraceutical category. We got the top 3 out of 8,500 company products. So I'm offering, it's $151 value to 5 people that would like to have that product for a 30-day supply. And that's our full biohacking stack. So it's your skin, your energy, your cellular health to reduce your oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. Offering that to 5 people for a 30-day supply.
Love it.
That's $151 value. Absolutely. So beautiful. I think I have a little, I'll show you real quick.
Wait a minute.
Yes, we want to see it.
Out her credit card.
You guys see this? It's about change. Yes, Amy got me.
Okay.
I said
I'm only going to show you the back. I'm not showing you the front. I can show you the front too. But anyway, this is our little daily stack, okay? That is what won out of 8,500 products in the entire world. One, including pharmaceutical, is just one number 3. So,
okay, you guys, you see what Amy has here. So in her industry, that's what they do, right? But it's simple. It's a one day. It's all in one package. So someone like me or you that's busy, that's a visionary, that's an entrepreneur can go, I got this, and walk out the door with it in your hand. Like, if she were to send me bottles, I probably would have cried. I would have been like, really? Do this right now. I don't have time to remember how many or what. That is what I mean by keep it simple. It's not crazy. It's perfect. It causes a result. It makes change. They're the leader in their industry, and look what they're up to. Look what they're up to. That's amazing.
Awesome. Thank
my
you.
pleasure. And wait, one more thing. I'll also do a podcast or like a little mini, like Facebook Live or whatever, with anyone that wants to grow their business and talk about the future of health and wellness. Totally happy to do that with you guys. Not talking about any products or anything, just my vision of what I'm seeing that's going on in this whole wellness, just like we talked about. You're welcome.
Yeah, Amy, I'm going to have you come on too. So we'll just have everybody go in and we'll do it through Facebook Live on my tribe page.
Awesome.
So if you're not on my tribe page, we'll make sure you get that link. So we'll put that up there as well. But we'll do a couple Facebook Lives, and we're running towards the end here. I want to thank everybody, but I also want to just jump in here and say, who has questions? You have all of us here. Ask away. Anyone? Any of the speakers want to share anything that you've been hearing since Heather and I have been talking?
On the question of what do you do to pick a product, Procter & Gamble sells soap, and their practice in similar sized markets, let's say Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, and this is counterintuitive, but they do this all the time. If the sales in Cincinnati are blowing it up and the sales in Pittsburgh are not, they cut the budget in Pittsburgh and dump it on Cincinnati to make the fire bigger. So the moral of that story is find your winner and feed it.
Yes, right. It's like kind of that 80-20 rule. And we see this a lot. I know from my background building and running big organizations, and I'm sure each one of you can attest to this, is that usually what we do is we put all of our heart and time and energy into, the 20% not really doing the work. We're going to make them better people. We're going to make them stronger leaders. We're going to teach them more tools. And the 20 percentile that's blowing up your business is being ignored.
Right.
So it's the same thing, right? Like put your energy where you actually are seeing results and just continue to feed the flame, feed the flame. Let's see, I think we have a couple questions here. So if I were to pick one of the products to focus on, should I pick the biggest margin product? This is a good one. Or focus on that. Prices are between $47 to $397. Anyone?
Hold on 1 second and I will answer that. I'm answering another question. Somebody asked for a link if they couldn't donate the full 197 if we had a link for them, and I do. I just need to.
Okay, well, while you're doing that, I'm going to ask a different question.
Holly, I posted that in the chat earlier. Can you grab that for her? It's a Vitamin Angels me link.
We got you. Okay.
Nice. You're the bomb.
Okay.
Okay. So, what was the question?
So the question has to do with margins. So if they've got multiple products, they're going to lower it into one product, or focus on one product, I should say, not lower, focus on one product. Should they pick the product that has the biggest margins and focus on that? Let's see.
Or the prices.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Ruth, is there a way to unmute her? I don't know. I don't think so. There's not. So Ruth, what I'm going to tell you is a lot of it has to do with your business modeling. So depending on thank you, Holly, you're an angel. So depending on how you modeled your business, a lot of it's not about the margin and it's not about the money. It's about, like Sammy said earlier, are you trading time for money, or are you creating impact with leverage? So a lot of it would be around what your product is. Make sure we'll go over this with you one-on-one. It's the best that I can tell you without looking at your full business model. But it's definitely not about margins. Some of my most impactful things in the world, we make almost no money on. But the ROI on the backside on what it causes in the growth of my community and the growth of my business and the referrals that I get are bananas.
Okay, one other question for one of the coaches here. Is private coaching considered, quote, a product for purposes of this discussion?
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Whatever you sell for money is considered a product.
So we have, how does a network marketing product / line fit into this, branding, etc., as an offer, not offering a service or product that build a product from the specific company? So we're talking about network marketing or direct sales marketing. So if they're selling somebody product or line. Okay, Sammy?
Yeah. So it's very interesting, when you're building a network marketing business, obviously you're not only competing against other people who say they have a similar product to you, you're competing with thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people that have exactly the same product as you. So, building your personal brand is a huge one, and what I recommend to my clients that also have, that network marketing arm of their business. An example would be a lady who, I don't know if you have Forever Living products in the States, but it's a big thing in Europe and the UK. I think it comes from the States originally. And she'd been doing it for 40 years, and she built a really big downline underneath her, was doing really, really well. But she was ready for that next step. And so what we did was we branded her the dressing gown entrepreneur, because she wanted to target women over 50 who had emptiness syndrome, or, they needed that second income, or they were just thinking about doing something else. Maybe they wanted to be out around more people and be more social and turn that into a business. So one of the things we did was we branded her the dressing gown entrepreneur, and she now speaks all over the world. She's written books. She She's speaking everywhere. She's getting paid to speak. And also, as a result of that, she's using that business as a funnel to bring them into the network marketing products. So I would just suggest, get strategic about it and, build your personal brand, but look at the other skills that you have. If you've got all these other skills, then use the power of those to bring them into your funnel as such. So, and Heather, I think, was going to say something too.
No, I was just listening to you, Sammy. I'm cheering you on. You're totally right. So I don't know a whole lot. I will be super honest, you guys. I don't know a whole lot about the multi-level network marketing model. I've never done it.
Mm-hmm.
I've also never built it. I have customized and branded sites for it. I have done some tech stuff for it. But when it comes to the structure and the marketing and like how to really get out there, like you're going to have to ask these beautiful ladies, because the product world is something that I've never operated in as a business.
Mm-hmm.
I can
So,
speak a little bit if you want me to.
yeah, I was going to say, Amy, this is Amy's sweet spot too. So, Amy, I'll let you go ahead and take over.
Yeah. I think more than anything, we're using what's called an attraction marketing strategy. And it's not really that any different than when I was in financial services, but what is it authentically about you that makes you attractive to other people, building community? And so using social media, which really I frankly just started doing within the last 12 months. Prior to this, it was really just more talking to the people that I knew and sharing the vision of what I see going on in wellness as a business person. So my platform is really around attracting people that understand business. And so that's just what I'm comfortable with, and looking at numbers and timing and trends and things like that as an investor, and also just somebody who really cares about making the world a better place. And so touching as many lives as possible, but monetizing that. And so that's kind of my attraction marketing strategy using, Facebook. Frankly, I've been using that for the past year. It's really helped me a lot. But it's still something that I'm not maximizing at all. And so I can't wait to work with you gals and get some coaching on this and get it all automated, because it's a whole nother business, totally different than the one that I was running, which I built over 5 years without knowing anything about the industry at all, except just having seen the vision and just jumping in, But again, it's just find out what's authentically you're passionate about, just like Sammy was talking about. And then that's what you're going to build. That's how you're going to attract, because there's going to be your tribe. There's people like that all over. Like I love food, and that's really my platform is more around it's business, and then also around food and the experience of food, and just making that a community type of an experience. And so it's using your personal stories and being raw and authentic with people and just sharing your pain, because really we're just trying to help people get through their pain and get to the other side of that. So that's really all I can say about it. But it just is just whatever you're into, if you're quilting, if you're into cars or whatever it is, that's kind of what needs to be your way of attracting people. So that's what's worked for me. So,
yes.
So
Yes. Thank you.
On network marketing, the question is, what's the product? If you're distributing a product that over which you have no control, how can you say that you're building a brand around that product? The answer is you're not. You're kind of like Time Warner Cable. Time Warner Cable distributes television programming made by CBS, NBC, all of those other people. What is their product? Their product is service. Their product is actually service, and most of the cable companies, if you read their reviews on Yelp, they get terrible marks for service. So they're failing at delivering what their product is. The television pictures come through fine. It's what happens when my internet doesn't work and I have to go through a 27-step phone tree to get someone to help me. In network marketing, if you're a leader of a network marketing group, your product is hand-holding and encouragement. And that's what you need to deliver. And you need to be famous for that. And you need to actually institutionalize it and make it concrete in ways that, like, for example, with guarantees. You call us, you'll hear back from us in 4 hours, one way or the other. So, something like that people can look at and go, okay, this is why I love working with this person.
Yes. We are at our mark right now. I want to thank all the panelists. I'm going to stay on here for anybody that wants to stay on. We're going to continue to review these gifts real quick. If there's anybody that does need to jump off, we appreciate that you are at your 3-hour dedicated time with us. So I also want to
Absolutely.
thank all the speakers. We're going to run through the gifts one more time because we're not quite done yet of where we want to get to. So for those of you that are out there, some really beautiful suggestions are coming through. You know, number one, this is a donation, and obviously it's a tax donation. So also Maria just suggested you
Yes.
could donate in somebody's honor. It's a friend's honor. If you want to do that, we'll go through the gifts again. So Heather, you have this beautiful opportunity that you've already put out there, which was your business analysis, and then you're doing some coaching as well. Stan has her 3 gifts that she's put in. Robert has his gifts. Amy just added one more gift. And I have added the signature product. So I think all in all, we're probably at about $10,000 worth of gifts for a $190 donation. So we're asking everyone to think about who and how they can serve and be of service right now, and go to the link. Holly's going to put it in the chat box right now, and we're going to add up. I think we're at about, what did we say, close to 6,000 ladies? 5,400. So keep going, keep going, keep going. Do any of the speakers want to?
So you guys, go for it.
Go ahead. Do any of the speakers want to talk about anything? Robert, do you have upcoming events going on? I know that you and Mark have worked a lot with A4M. Are you doing any teaching right now?
We haven't announced anything on the fall schedule yet. The next big project for us is America's Leading Motivational Healthcare Speakers, which is our video series, and there'll be some things coming out of that because we think this is really a service that we can offer to people who follow our work. And I think the video series that we're doing, really excited about. Some of the biggest names, people that you already know, household names, are people that we focus in on, and we actually have video clips of them speaking. And it's kind of like, if you ever see a magician and you wonder, how do they do that? Well, Mark and I tell you, we focus in on a specific part of the talk, and we say, this is how they did it. And it's really a learn by watching the best. So, and that's included as part of what we're offering here for people who donate.
Fantastic. So Amy just asked if people continue to donate. Absolutely, people will continue to donate. We had talked about not doing a replay, but we're going to offer the link for the replay for each speaker to post to their tribe. So we'll definitely continue to push this, and we'll give it a what would we like to do here, speakers? 48 hours? Here in America, Sammy, we're in the middle of Labor Day weekend.
Right.
We have a lot of people on vacation. So Sammy just posted her events here. So we have some coming up. And for those of you that are in our backyard, we have been talking to Sammy. We're going to be promoting in the first quarter an event here in San Diego for Sammy. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But we do have some local events and some other events outside of in London and Holland. And Amy and I are going to be producing some webinars on nutrigenomics, as well as some educational sales and mindset training. So look for those dates as well. And I think that is about it. Heather, you have anything else to add?
I will be speaking, for those of you who joined us through the Hardcore community, I will be speaking at a private mixer at the Zone event, as well as Dream Big, one in Phoenix, one in Scottsdale. And then I will be on stage with Suzanne Evans at Build Your Speaker Business Bootcamp in November in DC. So if you want information on that, Holly, you are welcome to post my email address. Best way to get a hold of me is hello@Creative Tech Consulting. If you have questions, reach out to me. I will always make time for you. Like, you got questions, I got answers. But like, we are all super committed to what we're up to and to hitting this $10,000 mark. So I think we should give them 72 hours. It's a holiday weekend.
You got it. 72 hours, everyone.
You guys will see on our Facebook pages. We will post the replay, share it with your friends, share it with people who you know need to feel and fuel their businesses with what we're up to. I'm sure Tony and I will come up with a really good reason for you to share it. Who knows? But we're not going to announce that on live online. We're actually going to announce that on Facebook. So you're going to have to find out. So the more you share, the more you tag, the more you get people out there. Let's get this in front of 1 million wellness professionals. Like, that's what we're up to. We are up to changing the way people do business, the way they live life, and coming from a giving model.
Yes, yes. So thank you again for every one of your beautiful hearts and being part of this cause and for joining us. We've had over 50 people participate today. So lots of great information from these very brilliant speakers. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all for joining us. And have a beautiful day and be well.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
See you soon.